Good morning, Raptor freaks. Lexiot's here, and it's Monday morning, and the Raptors beat the Grizzlies yesterday in the Naismith Cup. I know nobody's really calling it that, but I always really feel like when you play Grizzlies versus Raptors on Canada soil, that is the Naismith Cup. So when we go to Memphis, I don't really count that as a Naismith Cup. I count it when we play them here. So yeah, Raptors win the Naismith Cup once again. We've won the Naismith Cup many times. I just wish we could hold it again. Where's Amit? We need to get on the investigation about the whereabouts of the Naismith Cup. That's right. Fantastic win. I hope most everybody in Raptors Nation is positive and happy. And if you aren't, and if you're in comment section saying crazy shit still, shut the fuck up and enjoy the ride. Enjoy the games. As Vince Carter says, enjoy this. Enjoy this. Come on. Seriously. I mean, I was totally not totally enjoying Vince's retirement ceremony a year ago, but in some ways I got the message from him. You can't do anything about this. I am getting my jersey retired by the Raptors, so enjoy. Enjoy. So I want to have the same attitude about the Raptors winning right now to the haters and the idiots, the social media warriors, the people in the comment section, the Redditors, the Instagram idiots, the Facebook fakes, the Reddit rejects. Yeah. All right. I got a comment for y'all. Enjoy the Raptors' success and being badasses and stop your half-ass talking about their salary being too high for what they're doing because they're about to win. They're about to turn the corner, you idiots, and they're going to earn that money that y'all think they're overpaid to not make. Woo! That's right. We are back, baby. And we really are. Because, listen, I saw all kinds of signs yesterday, and I've seen things with the schedule coming up, and I'm telling you, we are destined for success. It don't even matter that Jakob's out. We're going to be winning. And Raptors fans that are dismal and pathetic and chicken littling and negative and saying all this crazy shit, fire Bobby, fire Darko, trade Scotty, trade Emmanuel, all this shit, y'all are going to shut up because y'all are idiots. And you're going to need to pause with your dumbass comments and all this stuff. Because I see you guys out there still. It's like we won 2 games in a row, and you idiots are still coming out of the woodworks, out into the light from the darkness, you cretins, creeping out. Let me write something stupid in a comment section somewhere on a Raptors thing. I mean, seriously, y'all, you idiots, you Instagram idiots, you Facebook fakes, and you Redditor idiots. That's right. I don't know what to call them. Either way. All right, let's get right to it. I got the stars of the game, Instagram stories. The real goods on Canadian goods is today is good. I'm telling you right now. Wow, we may do something fun on the show today. Live, you'll see me do one of my amazing food feats on the show today. You picked the right day to watch. In the past, I've eaten a raw onion on the show before. I've done some very interesting things on this show in the history of the 4 years. One time I ate the Raptor Freak pepper, and it was hot on the show. You know, I've done some weird stuff on the show, and I'm going to do something weird today. So stick around. You're going to want to see it. You want to see it. Also, a reminder, y'all, the reaction streams are now Thursday think tank streams, and that means the phone line is open to members, good standing Raptor Freak members of the channel that already have the phone number are more than welcome to call me today and react to the game yesterday. Let's keep it on topic. No more baseball, y'all. Just like Sherman Hamilton said at the end of the broadcast yesterday, can we stop mentioning the Blue Jays? Now, seriously, Danielle Michaud, the whole world doesn't revolve around the Blue Jays. Yes, they lost. We stay present. It's basketball season. Baseball season's over. And you and Brad Fay can bring up the Blue Jays so many times just to kiss the ass of your owner. I said owner, your boss, Ed Rogers III. That's great. Not everybody is falling out like y'all described it. Oh, everybody's in such bad shape. So listen, I'm proud of the Blue Jays. I'm glad they went really far. I wish they had won. I'm not upset totally that they didn't win. I wish they had won. That would be nice. But also at the same time, telling everybody that we're devastated and that, it's just a small solace for what is that? Fuck that. I had a badass day yesterday. They won this game. And I don't care that the Blue Jays lost. I'm in the present moment. I'm going forward, and it's Raptors season now. So all the whining and crying and saying this about this and the Blue Jays this, you didn't have to do that, Danielle Michaud. You didn't have to do that, Brad Fay, because this is a basketball broadcast. And in some ways, the Blue Jays need to be separated. And thankfully, in some ways, the baseball will go away. We won't have to see it on a broadcast so much. And seriously, don't be bringing them up all the time, or the Leafs. Don't start cross-promoting the Leafs like crazy with the Raptors at Rogers. No. So, yeah, it was stupid. It got so bad with bringing up the Leafs losing. I mean, the Jays losing Game 7 that Sherman Hamilton had to make a comment at the end of the broadcast. Can we not bring up the Blue Jays next show? Yes, I think you need to do that. Leave it at the door. And in some ways, I was ready to leave it the night that they lost on Saturday, and Sunday was a new day. I'm sorry. In some ways, there was no morning fallout for me. Maybe for some people on this channel and stuff like that, I want to respect your energy and how you feel about it. But just presupposing Rogers Sportsnet that everybody's falling out about the Blue Jays that came to watch the Raptors yesterday, well, that's a little bit of presupposing. That is. Because I know for one, MJ and myself weren't that all like Danielle Michaud was trying to tell us we were supposed to be. No. We are proud of the Raptors and where we're going, and we are ready to win more. And that's what we're going to do. So the phone line is open. Hopefully, yeah, like Sherman said, the baseball talk's over on basketball broadcasts, and that includes this podcast. Mel Bester. Trevor J., the commissioner of fun, a rock, the foundation. This guy, if there was a position in the basketball team that he could play as center, because he's the center of helping me. And I appreciate Trevor J. Happiness keeps you sweet. Trials keep you strong. Sorrows keep you human. Failures keep you humble. Success keeps you growing. And only God keeps you going. He made it rhyme again, man. He was very Seussian. Okay, that's not the words of wisdom. All right, since he said sweet and bold, I'm going to go ahead and do the straight goods on Canadian goods right now. You're going to get to see this amazing thing that I'm about to do. All right, y'all. I've discovered something recently at the grocery store that I love so much. I mean, I can't stop eating this. I'm putting it on everything these days because it's so tasty. And to me, it's reminding me of nostalgia. It's reminding me of the South, of living in Tallahassee, Florida. When I was a kid growing up, there was a restaurant called Sonny's Real Pit Barbecue, and it still exists in many pockets in the South. It's a chain, and it has some amazing ribs, amazing barbecue. Now, they had a certain sauce that is just signature, and it's a very particular taste. It's a sweet, bold barbecue taste. And that's right. We're talking about barbecue. We're talking about sweet. We're talking about bold because Trevor brought it up. And this barbecue sauce, I've found a Canadian barbecue sauce here in Canada. It's Canadian made that tastes exactly like the Sonny's Barbecue Real Pit barbecue sauce of my childhood. They used to put it on the tables in these big, huge ketchup containers, and you could just squirt it all over your pork and your ribs and your beef and whatever you ordered. Well, Neil Brothers, you've done it. I don't know how you figured it out, but you figured out the Sonny's Real Pit Barbecue recipe. And, we're going to talk about barbecue on this channel because barbecue is important to our team. And Neil Brothers, thank you for smoky, bold barbecue sauce. And I love it so much, I'm going to drink some on the channel today. That's right. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drink the barbecue sauce right now because it tastes so good. I don't need anything to put it on. Oh, wow, it smells so good. It's so good, y'all. Listen, it's so good. I went to their website to research it a little bit. And out of all their barbecue sauces, this one is sold out. You can't buy this one online right now because it's so good. Nobody's letting it be right. All right, so let me have some real quick. Oh my gosh, it's so sweet. And it tastes just like that Sonny's Real Pit barbecue sauce. Oh my gosh, man. I don't know how they figured it out. They got the formula. It's so good. I mean, listen, I'm a Raptors fan. I love barbecue. I love Barnes, Barrett, and Quickly. And I want to see them be successful. So I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, literally, the barbecue sauce. Have you ever seen a man drink barbecue sauce on a YouTube channel before? Well, you have now. And I will say this. I want more of these fans, these Raptors Nation people, to start drinking the barbecue sauce. Start understanding we got a good damn team. We're going to go somewhere. You seen Brandon Ingram doing what he's doing. Hello, jabroni. This is what I said to Stargate last night in Discord. The Raptors right now have one of their top 3 most talented collection of players ever in the whole history of franchise, 31 years. Yeah. The championship team is obviously one of the top 3 most talented collections ever of Raptors history. That is Kawhi and Kyle and Pascal and Mark and Serge and Danny. And a great open gym, by the way, this weekend on Danny Green. Thank you. Norman and Fred and OG and Chris Boucher, all those guys. Yeah, that is one of the top 3 most talented Raptors teams ever. And I would say the team that got in the playoffs the first time and won our first playoff series against the Knicks that had Alvin Williams, Charles Oakley, Muggsy Bogues, Del Curry, Antonio Davis, Kevin Willis, Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter. These are like the top 3 most talented teams in the history of the Raptors. The one we got right now, the championship team, and that Vince Carter early playoffs team. Those are the 3 most talented teams in the history of the Raptors franchise. The one we got right now and those 2 other teams. I'm not lying. We have talent out the wazoo on the Raptors right now. And I'm drinking the barbecue sauce. Part of it is that Colin Murray-Boyles, he advanced. He's advanced. He like last year, there'd be times I'd be watching Grady. I'd be watching Shed, watching Walter. I'd be like, whoa, that's eye-opening. Wow, I didn't think I'd see that. Or Scotty sometimes, early in his career. I was like, whoa, that's eye-opening for what is possible. Well, a lot of eye-opening in just less than a week of Colin Murray-Boyles. There is a lot of eye-opening things happening with him in areas that I didn't totally predict would happen with him. And especially this early. Whether it's the passing, there's a passing chops he's got apparently. Whether it's the toughness of finishing near the basket with pressure and contact and people pushing on him, he's still going up and making layups and putting the ball in with patience and tenacity. No, see, think about this. Scotty's doing the same thing. He's on the same path. He's trying to show more toughness. And in fact, Scotty's not your boy Scotty anymore. He's your man Scotty at this point because he's a tough young man now. He's grown to being a man. Yes, his little daughter. He's a father. And him and RJ, they bulked up apparently. So now they're bad men with big muscles. And well, Scotty, 4 years in, he's doing the tough man work now and he's getting some success. But he didn't do this shit for a couple years in. He was shied away from contact. He could have gone in there, but he didn't know that was part of his player build that was really strong. And we've started to show him and open his eyes. In some ways, Scotty's starting to understand he can play like an 80s power forward. And I love it. I love it. This man's trying to be Otis Thorpe all of a sudden. I love it, man. I'm here for it. But Colin Murray-Boyles, fresh out the package, he's showing big man toughness, going down low and wrestling with some of the strongest guys in the league, like Steven Adams and Jaren Jackson Jr., and having success. This is very intriguing. The learning curve for him is there, and he's going to get better. That's the crazy thing, because he's going to know better what he's supposed to do, and he is a smart kid, and he's very teachable. He's very teachable. Apparently, he can hear Alvin from the broadcast, and he can hear Alvin say something, and he'll change it in the middle of the game while he's on the broadcast, and Alvin will say, "Oh, I'm such a good coach. Look at what I just did." I'm just saying, man, there's a lot of promise here. And with power and weapons like we've got, if Barrett and Barnes are going to be big boys and going to be bullies, along with Colin Murray-Boyles, that's 3 bullies in our lineup, along with an overpowering, smooth, silky shooting Brandon Ingram. And the X factor of IQ is still going to come around. Don't give up on him yet. I really do want IQ to get out of this funk. And Darko giving support to him in the press before the game, saying a big part of what's happening with IQ is Jakob's absence, that he really gets going and works so well off Pirtle. that he's the one out of all the Raptors is missing Yak right now. And then also Darko took some of the blame himself, saying that I may not be setting up Q for success totally in the right way right now, and that I need to maybe encourage him more and build him up more. That's what he's saying. He wants to build him up and make him feel more confident and more strong to go out there and be the best version of IQ he can be. So I'm telling you, man, I'm drinking this barbecue. I think it tastes good. I think it's going to be very good all season. And I think it's a winning formula. Let's just put it that way. Some ways I don't want to finish it because I want to put it on something later for lunch. All right, let's put up the Neal Brothers. That's right, Neal Brothers, good job. Get that smoky bowl. Intense fume barbecue sauce. BBQ, baby. That's right. Straight goods on Canadian goods. Woo! Man, I got a mesquite in my mouth now. Mesquite. Whoa, whoa, whoa. A little spicy. Yeah. Trevor's saying this. What a great game last night. I love when we play like that. My stars of the game, RJ, Ingram, Scotty, and Colin. Yeah, this is a pretty evident who the hierarchy or the top guys were last night. Let me see. I got sauce on my lip. Yeah, RJ is the number one star of the game. There's no denying this. RJ is a leader. RJ is very openly professing how much he loves playing for the Toronto Raptors now. And the interview after the game, he was they're very open about it. Darko said the same thing. It's like he really wants to make things work here. I don't like that Darko used the past tense because the man's still presently on our team. He really wanted to make things work here. He does want to make things work here. He's still making things work here, and he will continue to make things work here. Darko Rajakovic, watch your tense. Don't make it past. No. RJ's on our team, and I want him to be here for a long time because I like to see dreams come true. This is a Make-A-Wish Foundation, and we got to give a wish to RJ, a wish to stay on the Raptors for a long period of time. That's what we want. And the great thing is, with his success and the way he's playing, his efficiency, and the way he's doing things, fans are coming around. A lot of the idiots who were kind of weird with RJ this summer, less and less of those voices, and more of the real, true Toronto Raptors fan voices saying, we got to keep RJ. We got to keep him here, man. This is just our dude. And you can see the joy. You can see the way he carries himself. The man is just purely true, authentic. Forget you, Paul Pierce. You're not the truth. RJ Barrett is the truth. And no matter how the NBA does not want to see him, no matter how the haters don't want to see it, the truth is there on the court, motherfuckers. And you can see it in his stat line after the game, too. So I just say, you used to call Paul Pierce the truth, but I believe the new era of truth is in RJ Barrett's veins. And he has barbecue in his veins. That's right. He is just a badass, bold and smooth and spicy. Keep going. Barbecue Barrett. Woo-wee! Tastes so good, man. All right, let's see. All right, this is what I'm saying here. RJ Barrett, 36 minutes. He had 27 points. He was a plus 19, the highest plus minus on the team last night. He had 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 turnovers, and he shot 53% from the field, and he shot 5 of 7 at the free throw line. What's not to like? He's efficient. He's playing stronger than ever. It really does show the hard work he put in this summer. His muscles got muscles. You can look at the man. He looks stronger, and that's really helped him for his defensive ability. That's really helped him for his finishing ability. The extra muscle that RJ put on. I mean, we were talking about it a little bit in Discord last night. Are these guys on some sort of supplement? Like whatever the strength and conditioning coach Lee is doing with them, it's working. Because I would say a majority of our team has bulked up immensely in the last year or two. You can think about Grady's magical transformation over Christmas, his rookie year. Look at Jacoby Walter in the last year, what he's done. Jamison Battle, he's a smart guy. He's the specialist. They gave him training and instruction on how to eat and how to train, and he built himself some shoulders and arms and made himself a better defender and rebounder. I'm just saying, these guys are bulking up, and that includes Barnes and Barrett, who both are much stronger this year, and the dividends are paying off. RJ said in his post-game interview, don't expect me to have a summer like that every summer. Yeah, because on most summers, you're going to be playing for Team Canada. So it's like he can put in the extra work on a non-Olympic or international FIBA summer where he's not representing Team Canada. He can put in that extra work and get there. But he really has put in the work, and it shows. This is part of the reason why he's so consistent, is because he has DeRozan code. He goes to the gym every day. He took what he did this summer so seriously, and he did the work to get to this success right now. This isn't like a fluke. This isn't shit that's just happening because, oh, it's it's just happening. No, he's making this happen because he did the training, he put in the time, and he is like that. And that's why it is like this. That's right. RJ, salute you, man. You're a hometown hero. We love you. Every time you take that court at Scotiabank Arena, every time you put on that Raptors red uniform, good things are, everything's right in the world to me. That's right. That's what I say right there. Yeah. My second star of the game is Ingram. I'm going to pick Ingram as the second star. And part of it is Ingram's had a nice, interesting career with the Raptors so far, the beginning of it. And, when he first showed up, it was really heavy on the shooting and not as many stats in the middle of his box score. It's just a lot of shots and points. It was what he was doing initially, but that's changed. In some ways, Brandon Ingram's starting to show me he's willing to work in outside areas other than his offense to help the team win. There was a very high-profile block at the end of the game last night where I saw a great block under the basket, and I just assumed it was Scotty or maybe even RJ because he's been blocking people lately. But it was Brandon. And I was like, holy shit, Brandon got that block. Wow. Okay. All right, Brandon. I like that effort on the defensive end. I like the fact that you're going after rebounds. I like the fact that you're playing an all-around game other than just your very overwhelmingly badass, amazing offensive talent, which is absolutely such a happy thing for Raptors fans to see. We love Brandon Ingram, and Brandon Ingram is starting to love playing in Toronto more and more, and I can tell because he's putting in effort in other areas. I love it. 33 minutes for Brandon. He had 26 points. He was absolutely our go-to guy. He's absolutely our number one option for offense on this team because the man is a bucket. And it's a bucket you can try and go get in all kinds of different ways all the time. Last night, Stargate and I were watching the game together on the Discord, and I talked to him about Kobe Bryant and Brandon. This is one of the crazy things about Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram has the body of Kevin Durant, but he has the footwork and the play of Kobe Bryant. I've said this on this channel a couple times in the last week or so, but I want people to really understand this. It's absolutely true. You can put in Brandon Ingram's name and Kobe Bryant's name in YouTube, and a video will come up. It's about a 3-minute video. And you watch that video, and it is mirror image, exact footwork, exact spinning around. Kobe Bryant's moves are what Brandon does. He studied Kobe. He played with Kobe as a rookie and was around him. He got to play with him. He actually got to be around Kobe Bryant. And he really has studied him. And that's part of the secret of success for Brandon Ingram is he's using Bryant's moves. Well, Scotty knows this. And that's why Scotty said this in an interview in the last 2 weeks, because we know Scotty's a very huge fan of Kobe Bryant. There's quite a few players on our team that their favorite player is Kobe Bryant, and Scotty is one of them. Now, when he realized that Brandon Ingram is basically trained under Kobe and learned all of his moves, it really piqued up Scotty's interest. And this is a side bonus of having Brandon Ingram on our team. Brandon Ingram can do the Vince Carter, Kawhi Leonard, big-time superstar clutch, take a bunch of shots and make them baskets all throughout the game and be like that. But on the side, he may be training Scotty to be a better player that we don't even realize coming up. Because Scotty loves Kobe Bryant. And if Brandon Ingram knows how to play like Kobe Bryant and he wants to teach Scotty more footwork tricks that Kobe did with this and that, this and this is DeRozan code shit. This is the stuff DeRozan learned from Kobe. And Brandon knows it too because he studied very hard and he probably got some instruction directly from Bean Bryant. So I'm just telling you guys, Scotty Barnes may improve partly because Brandon is a student of Kobe and Scotty loves Kobe and he wants to learn how Kobe played. Now think about this. If Scotty Barnes is this big, strong, fast, crazy basketball player that learns more of Kobe's secrets, what do you think's going to happen in the years to come? So all you idiots who don't like Barnes and they're like, why are we wasting our time on Barnes? You don't even understand what's coming because y'all are jabronis and you don't understand basketball. And in some ways, I know y'all aren't actually our fans. Your detractors are coming in to confuse in the noise. Because I'm telling you, nobody should want Barnes off this team because the potential is out the roof. And some of the big boy tough stuff he's doing right now is absolutely badass. That man is graduated to being a man. And the second and third effort on the board, Scotty, is noted. That is what men like Michael Cage, Charles Oakley, and Otis Thorpe did back in the day. Buck Williams, give me a list of power forwards from the 80s that were real men that stood their ground and hold strength and got rebounds. And Scotty Barnes, you're looking like them. And I love it. I love it. I love it. Brandon, stat stuff. That's the other thing I love about it. He got 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and that big block that I talked about at the end of the game. He ended up shooting 67%, 10 of 15. That's just scorching. And I love, like, he's getting really close to the basket with the Grizzlies last night, and really interesting flips and little like finger rolls. And like, it seems like he's traveling sometimes, but it's just that he has such long legs. He has so much pivot room and so much kind of like, it's awesome. It's fun to see because he's a natural scorer. He is very smooth and he's a lot of fun to watch. He really is. So yeah, Brandon, you're my second star. Good job last night with 26 points in 33 minutes. Scotty. Let's talk about my third star, Scotty Barnes. He got a double-double. Once again, a point that was proven by me earlier this year. I said this over and over again. Scotty does not need to score 20 to be absolutely badass and amazing in a game. In some ways, I'd rather him get the double-double where he gets 12 rebounds with the 18 or 19 points. He had 19 points in 32 minutes. He had 5 offensive rebounds and 5 blocks and 5 assists. There's not a lot of players in this league that can go out and get 5 offensive rebounds, 5 blocks, and 5 assists. I'm just saying that. That's a little bit of a weird combination, guys. Also, he was 3 of 8 from 3. He was 8 of 19 shooting, 42%, and a +9. Scotty is doing what his assignment is, and that's glue guy, all the winning kind of plays, and he made a lot of different winning kind of plays last night. He had amazing winning play blocks, amazing rebounds. These guys are trying to zero in and go get the ball. They have way more motivation to go after and get the ball. Earlier last week, they were standing around watching the other team do everything, but now they're taking the initiative, they're being aggressive, and they're going to get the ball. And I appreciate that. And Scotty, like I said, the second and third efforts off the boards, that is something you need to just continue to do. You're a big boy. You're going to get hit. And yeah, in some ways you may get fouled a lot more than the whistle actually blows, but get in there and fight. And the one thing you have to remember is, and this is what I've been telling you since you're a rookie, never ever depend on the whistle, bro. They're never, ever going to whistle when you want to or have the time when you may. If you just expect you can go in and get a whistle, don't do it that way. You need to go in to get the basket. That's the secret that RJ probably has taught you a little bit more watching him. RJ's not giving a shit whether they've called a whistle. RJ's going in there with muscle, and he's going to just force the ball in. Like Stargate's saying, this man's got LeBron James kind of game. RJ Barrett's one of the closest things to LeBron James in this league as far as unstoppable and driving the basket and just finishing with strength and people around him. Yeah, if you don't see that comparison, people, there is a lot of LeBron James in RJ Barrett's game. But Scotty, in some ways, he in the past will get one effort and he'll give up after that. That's a lot of his career so far. That's what's different right now. All of a sudden, he's showing second effort and third effort to get the ball back and put it back if he doesn't cleanly make it. And also, he did something I suggested last week too. Last night, he started shooting more with one hand around the basket. And, he likes to do that turnaround where he shoots like this with both hands, but that's not the best shot because he can get a really light touch with a one-handed little baby hook in the within 10 feet range. And in some ways, he needs to loft it up with a little baby soft touch hook because it has more play to bounce around on the rim and just fall in. And we saw one of those shots last night that Scott made. So I like that adjustment. And I love the effort, Scott. The second and third effort is noted. And, dude, this is an all-around game, man. You can do whatever you want on the court. And in some ways, you're a sampler platter at Applebee's, my guy, because you're given every appetizer for what we can see on the court, whether it's a block, a rebound, an assist, a three-point shot, a fantastic dunk. There's all kinds of a plethora to choose from with Scotty Barnes. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Yeah, these guys are awesome. These three guys, Brandon, Barrett, and Barnes, man, We are really lucky. And that's why some people are saying we need to consolidate and get rid of people because they see how scary we are. So don't listen to this bullshit and stop saying this stuff. If you're a Raptors fan, you should not be saying we need less talent on our team. That is not the right opinion on things. We have too much talent. We need to trade people. Man, just tell me you're not really a true fan who understands the team or wants good things for the team. Most people want as talented a team as they can get all the way through 15. But some Raptors fans think we shouldn't have more talent. I don't think they're fans. When people start acting like, oh, we have too much talent, we have to trade people. Oh, what are we doing? We got to get rid of people. Shut up. Let's ride with it. Let's let Bobby do his job. And let's enjoy the success of having so much talent on our team. Top 3 talented Raptors team of all time. I'm telling you right now, it really is. Colin Murray Boyles is my 4th star. The rookie was sensational in the starting lineup. And in some ways, look, I'll take the rookie mistakes. I'll take the errant pass up court, the Grady Dick that looked crazy. I'll take a poor foul at the poor timing when he shouldn't, late in the shot clock or at the wrong time, in the wrong place, put us in the penalty, whatever. I'll take those rookie mistakes right now because the promise and the fortuitousness, the amazing potential that I'm seeing in this kid, and especially him getting thrown in the deep end right away, having to play people like Jokic and Sengun and some of the biggest, baddest players in the league. This kid is not flinching, and this kid is actually showing some real competitiveness with the best in this league. And you got to wonder, man, he hasn't even played 5 games yet, and he looks so polished. What is going to be Colin Murray Boyles in like 2 or 3 years from now, guys? Seriously, the potential for offensive stuff is really very much there. I've been seeing a couple of flashes. This is where I say those eye-opening moments with Colin Murray Boyles where I'm like, you know what? I've underestimated what this kid is absolutely potentially able to do. You know, the 3-point shooting is great, but it's not going to stick. It's not going to be there like that for him forever. He's going to make these open threes. That's great. And he will get open threes, but at some point they're going to come and respect him. And you'll have to adjust and you'll have to learn how to do it again after that. Like Jameson and Grady have learned to. When they get sussed out as a threat for 3, people will start guarding them from the scouting report. So, you know, there's going to be a journey with him with the 3-point shot. And it should never be really – he shouldn't really ever be pegged as a 3-point shooter, guys. I mean, it's something that he needs to be able to do. And it's something that, if he's wide open, he should shoot it. But I don't want to ever get to a point where we're depending on Colin Murray Boyles to take a lot of threes, because that's absolutely where he should not be. That man, in some ways, I've said this at the beginning of the year, and it's kind of just standard what I say to power forwards that come in the league. If you want to learn, the same thing I said about Siakam when he came in, just rebound. Don't worry about getting shots. Don't worry about anything. Just go in there and be a garbage man. Go in there and get as many offensive rebounds as you can and put them back and make all your points that way. In some ways, you can help the team so much, Colin Murray Boyles, if you just focus on rebounding almost 90% of the time you're on the court. Sure, you can be a shit disturber on defense and cause turnovers, get your hand in there, steal balls, block shots, do all that. But if your bread and butter and the one main thing you think about all the time, Colin Murray Boyles, on a basketball court is rebounding, we're going to win a lot. But we need you to do that. We really do. 31 minutes for Colin, 15 points in this one. He had 9 rebounds, including 6 offensive rebounds. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That is 6 more chances off of misses. And some of them were his own to get that ball to put back in. And that's awesome. Like him and Scotty both having 11 offensive rebounds between the two of them. This is something I want to get used to. Seriously. This is something I want to get used to. He also had 5 assists. Colin's showing some chops with the passes. That's an eye-opener that I did not think was coming. I'm like, wait, you're going to tell me he's a really good defender? He does actually have an okay 3? And he can pass? Okay, then. All right. Now we cooking, Bobby Webster. Now we cooking. That's right. I like that. 3 steals also for Colin. He's disruptive. He's going to get his hand in there. He shot 50%. He did miss all 3 of his 3 attempts, and he made his only free throw, a plus 10. 15 points in 31 minutes. And he got starters minutes. It's interesting. And the other weird thing about Colin last night is that he fit in with those big 3 like he was the 4th member. You know what I mean? Like, Barrett, Barnes, and Ingram are very much a certain level of player. But Colin Murray Boyles doesn't seem like he's out of place in that quartet, does he? No, he doesn't. It's amazing. This rookie's really good. And I'm really happy we got him more and more. I am. And I know I'll be more and more in the years to come because I told you I had a vision. Colin Murray Boyles has the second Raptors championship ring on his hand. I seen it. I have foresight. And that's why this kid is going to he's going to be part of it. Scotty will be too. But Colin's the piece that's going to get us there in some ways, guys. Watch. All right. So the fifth star of my game for the game last night is Jamal Shed. Once again, Jamal just steady. We weren't sure if Shed was going to play. Stargate was sure. He said, no, Shed's like that. He's going to play even if he's sick. He was right. Of course, you saw that Chucky Hepburn was suited up, and he used one of his two-way games eligibility for the Raptors squad and didn't get in. Unfortunately, I wish they had separated themselves from the Grizzlies a little bit better in the fourth quarter so that we could have seen Chucky come in garbage time and make his NBA debut. But alas, that was not how the script went. But Shed was healthy, and he did come out and play, and he was very solid once again. This is the second game in a row that I've given a star to Shed without scoring double digits. And it's really just because he's just doing things right. 9 points for Shed in 16 minutes, and he had 5 assists and 0 turnovers. He's been averaging over 4 assists a game, and he's very limited in his turnovers. He's just been very, very steady. And I love steady Sheddy. He really is a Shed Van Vliet. You know, Red Van Vliet wasn't no Van Vliet, but Shed Van Vliet is a Van Vliet. Let's just put it that way. Shed Van Vliet is a Van Vliet. 3 of 4 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3. Those threes are nice, man. And he's really measured with them. And he's very disciplined about when he takes them. He's not just jacking threes. When Shed takes a 3, it's the right decision. And I love that he's most of the time making it. Yeah, so +7 for Shed. Just a great leader off the bench. You know, there's some honorable mentions. I feel like Grady had an underrated game in some ways last night. On the down low, Grady did have a bounce back game. He really did earn his second half minutes in the first half because he did play very aggressively on defense, and he was trying his ass off, and he did make a few shots. So honorable mention to Grady Dick. And yeah, that's my starts of the game. Barrett, Ingram, Barnes, Murray Boyles, Shed, honorable mention to Grady Dick. So, yeah. All right, let's see what else you guys are saying in the chat. Isaac Campbell is saying this out of Ottawa. This is our guy, the benevolent one. Isaac Campbell, what are you saying today? Oh, I got the wrong. What did I do that? That's weird. Okay, he's saying this. All right, get back to the top. RJ shouting out Jose Calderon post-game is a real one. No, he made it very clear, and so did Darko, that RJ has been a lifelong Toronto Raptors fan. And this is what Raptors fans need to hear. RJ Barrett has been a lifelong Raptors fan, and he reeled off the name of the list of the guys he looked up to: Chris Bosh, Andrea Bargnani, Jose Calderon, DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry. He went over the guys that he watched as a kid when he was a kid, and he was a Raptors fan living in Toronto and going to the games. Yeah, I mean, that's a real one. You're right, Isaac. You're right. That RJ's a real one for mentioning the great Jose Calderon, who we should talk about more on this channel too. In my opinion, he's a top 10 greatest Raptor of all time, Jose. I'm starting to formulate my bottom 5 in the top 10. Alvin Williams is in there. I know that. And so is Jose. And so is Amir Johnson. Yeah, I'm not going with the picks that everybody else picks. I'm picking the real ones, the heart ones, the ones that were really for us, like Morris Peterson. Yeah, I think that those 4 guys are in my top 10 Raptors of all time. Yeah, I do need to talk about Jose on this channel way more. I think that's a deficit. I know there was a while I wasn't talking about Bargnani enough too, but I'm going to start talking about Jose more. We need to come around and get the respect for Jose Calderon and the history and the culture of the Raptors and get people to recognize this and understand this, especially younger people don't know about Jose. But yeah, I love that RJ brought him up. And listen, man, he's just playing his days, just laying it out for everybody, the truth. I love this team. I love playing in Toronto. He couldn't wait to get back here, and he's dreamed of playing for our team his whole life. So come on now, y'all. Let's keep this dream true and coming through. That's what I'm saying right there. That's right. Raptor Freak James is in the house. Congratulations, James, on another victory in the fantasy league this week. I see that James is one of the 2-0 teams in the league right now. You're the load managers, right, James? Yeah, you're 2-0 as of yesterday. You beat Gerald in your matchup. The other 3 2-0 teams, one in each division. Myself, I'm a 2-0 team. We've also got HC, who's finished very high in our league as a 2-0 team right now. And also WNBA fantasy champion 2 years in a row, Meredith, is sitting at 2-0 and actually is the number one team in the league now with more points than me. So it's like me and MK at the top. But congratulations to all the team that won this week. James, MK, HC, Amit, Jason Dukes, Fiercey, Nins, and myself that won their matchups. So check your matchups. We're going into week 3 and get your lineup set because this league does not stop until the season's over, and you need to be on top of it to do well. That's right. Let's see. James is saying this. I seen on Real GM, Raps have the best odds to get Ja Morant with plus 400 if a trade happens. Thoughts? It's just bullshit, man. It's just bullshit. Don't think about this kind of stuff. James, when you see stuff like this, don't put any weight into it. That's not a news story. That's just somebody making up odds. It's the same way as they make up odds as how much they think we're going to win games this season in Vegas. It's just bullshit. I don't care what they say with the odds and who's the best to get that. Once again, a lot of propaganda out there because obviously Morant's people want to get him out of there. Obviously Memphis wants to get him out of there. And obviously the NBA is trying to figure out where to get him out of there. I think it's much more likely that Ja Morant gets traded for another problem person somewhere else. You know, it may be really just smart to just trade him for Zion. Just try that. Zion Williamson, you're a Grizzly. Ja Morant, you're a New Orleans Pelican. That could be an interesting just switch up, just to change the scenery for both of them. And, well, if it goes the same way in the new places that they're at, well, they're busts. And that's what I say to that. So, James, just forget about this. I kicked Tyler out of this stream yesterday for over talking about Ja Morant. I like you, James. I said yesterday, no more Ja Morant talk as of today. Because in some ways, it's not a story to me. It's trade speculation. And honestly, it's just a lot of hot air, and it's confusing. It's stupid. And in some ways, it's misleading Raptors Nation. Like you, thinking this is an idea that we should do. We should not do this. This is a non-starter. And in some ways, I do not appreciate you bringing up Ja Morant to Toronto trade stuff today because we were done with that yesterday. And I actually kicked somebody off the channel for talking about this too much. So, yeah, James is saying this. Even with all the negative noise around RJ, he still delivers. He's locked in. Yeah, he understands the serenity prayer. He can't control what other people are going to say. In fact, he said in interviews, I understand why people say what they say about me. It's like this is just what people would naturally come to these kind of conclusions and stuff like that. Well, whatever. He's going to control what he can control. Because ultimately, all we can control is what we say and do. And RJ has a lot of control over his life because if he's a badass on the court, he's successful. He gets to determine a lot of things. Bobby, you can't underestimate how special and important RJ's connection is with our city and our city's connection with him. It would be really, really bad if you're frivolously deal him in any kind of way in the near future and any time in the years to come, because it'll hurt us. It'll hurt us. And we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. In some ways, he's a very useful player that I'll bet you he'd work with you on money too in the future. Like I would love to have a winning kind of player like Tim Duncan that is willing to take a pay cut for his team to be successful, like Jalen Brunson is doing for New York. RJ Barrett would probably do for Toronto. So remember that, Webster, and remember that in the plans, MLSE, that RJ Barrett you may be able to get him at a good price in the future because he really just wants to be here. So remember that. I would say that. G's here. Good to see G. Star J just keeps elevating his game. Ingram is getting comfortable and going to be a scoring beast. Scotty had a great all-around game with 5 blocks. My favorite of this year. And Colin is impactful. Yeah, this is a great. I mean, I don't like no center. This is the weirdest thing. And I figured this out last night. I was like, this is the best we've played without Jakob in the last 3 years when he's absent. Normally, if we have Jakob gone, we are losing. Like we're getting like shellacked down low and all kinds of stuff. And that happened to us last week against San Antonio and Dallas and Houston. But in the last 2 games, in some ways, the absence of Jakob Poeltl, and I'm not saying he's expendable and we shouldn't have him. That's not what I'm saying here, has not been felt as bad. Have you felt that? Like, seriously, In some ways, I think it's partly because muscle was added to the arms of Barnes and Barrett, and they're playing bigger than they did last year. I think part of it is the rookie, Colin Murray Boyles, is very much taking care of some of the physical work we need to have done. But don't get it twisted. Jakob Poeltl is a very important player on this team, and we can only do this for so long, and we do need him back and healthy and playing at a high level. So, yeah, some people overreact to some things people will say and say, oh, well, if this is true, then we can do this. We could get rid of him. Don't do that. That's stupid, foolish talk. You can say, oh, we don't need Yak because now we're like winning without him. No, we need Yak. Trust me, because we need the size on our team. And at some point during this whole season, Jakob Poeltl needs to play very healthy for the whole entire, as much of the season at a high level to help us win at our best level. Yeah, no, we need him for the playoffs. We need him everything. He's the only legit center on our roster. So don't get it twisted. Even though I said the Raptors are doing the best without Yak in the period that since Yak's been back on our team in his second stint when he's been absent. Usually we're not as capable or doing things or what we're doing. Now, granted, we played two teams that weren't very good the last two games, but these are the kind of games we need to get things aligned right so that when we do play a better team, we have more practice and we're more capable and to win. Because, you know, we don't fumble these games, the games where we should win against a lesser Cavs team and a Grizzlies team, honestly, that's going nowhere already this season. They're fucked, man. John Morant messed them up. And that coach, like, this is such a bad way they did the thing with Taylor Jenkins and added this Finnish coach. It's really awkward. And in some ways, the dude never really got a chance to really establish things. He's going to get fired. He's going to get fired very, very quickly. And Grizzlies fumbled this because their timing of when they fired Jenkins was just stupid right at the end of the season. They should have let him finish, and they should have let this Finnish guy come in the summer and build up his thing separate of that. But in some ways, there's a weird, like, he doesn't have the team. That Finnish guy is not got the team right now. He's in a bad place right now. They really made a poor decision. And you know what? You know why this happened? The ownership of Grizzlies just loves this Finnish guy, and they just enamored with him, and they were grooming him to take over for Taylor Jenkins. And when Taylor Jenkins seemed to have lost the team in the locker room, they went ahead. They were anxious, so anxious to get this Finnish guy in because they had kind of promised him. They're like, "You're going to be the next coach of the Grizzlies. We're going to get you in there. Don't worry." So they kind of were too quick and too anxious to do that. And I think they screwed up the whole process, and they may have even ruined this guy as their coach already. Seriously, because I don't feel like the vibes on the team are right for him as far as respect. Some of the interviews he said, like the whole thing with John Morant is crazy. He said something like this. This is something, he's right. I respect what this Finnish coach is saying, but in some ways, this is a weird situation. He said something like, look, you don't, this is a quote directly from him. He said something like, you can be the most talented player on this team, but if you're not doing things to help the team win, I don't want you. That's a direct thing saying at Ja. It's like, look, and he's right. If it's like, look, if you're not willing to do the things to help the team, then you're a waste of time and you're just a distraction. You're fool's gold. You're not going to be there for at the end of the game, or you're not going to be there when we need you the most, DeAndre Ayton. And that is that. It's like, I don't give a shit how talented you are. So right there, he has the same kind of standards as I do as far as saying, I don't give a shit how talented you are. This is why I don't want John Morant in Toronto, because you're not going to help us because you're fool's gold. You can be so talented, you get our hopes up, but you're flaky and you're not somebody we can depend on. And this Finnish coach saying this shit about John Morant publicly right out there. And John Morant's taking the bait, fighting back with him, and then he gets suspended. Once again, I don't think that John Morant was suspended partly because of Friday night. It's also because he can't come across the border, come to Canada. Did you see him on the bench last night? No, you didn't. You did not see him in Canada. So in some ways, if they can avoid the one trip to Canada with John Morant, well, you're suspended for a night. Sorry. I'm serious. You didn't see him on the bench like you did Zach Edey, did you? No, you didn't. No, you didn't. That's right. All right, let's keep going. We are on Superfan. Mo is in the house. I love to see Superfan Mo in the chat with us. It's always a joy to have her presence here. Good morning, Rapid Freak crew. Amazing game. Stars of the game across the board. B.I., RJ, Colin, Scotty, etc. Yeah, it's quite a nucleus. We could get around not having so much bench scoring with 4 of our starters just being so efficient. Seriously. I mean, we didn't really have a good bench score last night. We really didn't. But the guys in the starting lineup were just so good. RJ, Scotty, Brandon, Colin. Those 4 guys, they're like the Beatles for us last night. They're like John, Paul, Ringo, and George. That's right. They're out there. I bet Colin is Ringo. It's like how would that be? Like Scotty's Paul McCartney, and Brandon no, RJ's George Harrison, and Brandon is John Lennon. All you need is baskets. Dun, 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 dun. The Fab Four, baby. That's right. It's the Fab Four. And Colin is Ringo. All right, going over the rest of the Raptors box score. Let's look at Emmanuel for a sec. Now, Emmanuel started the game so good. He comes out right away, gets the first basket, hits a 3, and he's playing really intense defense, and he's in there and he's doing that. But in some ways, he just kind of went away over the game. But you know what? I want to give so much love to Emmanuel. Because seriously, y'all, Emmanuel Quickly is here for us. I don't doubt him anymore. I think that Trevor's right. That's a Christian man of faith. He cannot live in a fake world where he's being fake to himself or wasting his time with his God-given talent. That's a sin. And this man believes in Jesus Christ. So he can't be a false person. So I believe Emmanuel is trying his best to do what he needs to do for our team in Darko. It's weird and it looks awkward right now. And he's going through a little bit of a change. And some of it is that he's trying to be more of a traditional point guard than a combo shooting guard. Some of it is that Jakob Poeltl is not available right now. And that's a really easy way for him to get interaction with somebody on the court that's very positive and starting to get synergy. I don't know. In some ways, it's like, figure it out, Emmanuel. Figure it out. There was one pass you had to Grady, which I love. You set Grady up. And this is why I want you and Shed to help people like Grady Dick and Jamison Battle and Jacoby Walter to make their threes, because y'all can do so much to give them open shots. Emmanuel, what did you do? You dribbled into the lane and Grady was on the side and you just quick passed him over the side and boom, Grady in rhythm catches and shoots and makes a 3. We need you guys to get these guys going. And in some ways, Emmanuel Quickly, if you're more like Shed with your assist to turnover ratio and setting other people up and getting some of our young guys in the second unit, getting baskets like you did for Grady last night in that moment, I'll be so happy. In some ways, it's like, let's keep it simple. We have roles we have to play. We have very talented guys. We could do everything. We could all do a lot of things, each of us. But in some ways, Colin, focus on rebounds. Emmanuel, focus on assists. Let's keep it really simple. And if we can do this, we're going to be really good. We're going to be really, really good. And I feel like Emmanuel's starting to get the understanding of the assignment. It's just that it's a difficult transition that's awkward right now. It's just awkward is what it is. 9 points for Emmanuel in 32 minutes. He had 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and he shot 40%. 2 of 4 from 3. It was nice to see those couple of threes. In some ways, we want to see more. And he was perfect at the line, a +6. Yeah, listen, of course we want more production from him. Of course we want to see him make more shots. But you know what? For right now, what matters to me is this. And it doesn't matter that Jamison Battle didn't play much. It doesn't matter that Emmanuel Quickly is not playing totally perfect, because this happened at the end of the game. And this is all that matters, guys, right here. Sandro, 11 minutes off the bench. He didn't score. But did he have a bad game? No, because he was active. He played defense, and he was rebounding. He had 3 rebounds in 11 minutes with an assist and a block also. Yeah, Sandro just didn't take any shots, really. He took 1 shot, and that was it. Jamison Battle came in for a quick, brief appearance at the end of the first half for 2 minutes. I was like, wow, this is early. Now, listen, before everybody goes crazy and gets mad at Darko for not playing Jamison after the amazing game on Friday, you guys got to understand, Jamison doesn't have to play every game. In some ways, Jamison is a specialist, as Scotty has named him for being a genius in Mensa and being able to solve riddles on cards at Calgary training camp. He can call him the specialist. In some ways, the specialist means he's for special times. And in some ways, we don't have to play him every game. It's not a rule just because he went crazy 7 for 7. And some people say, oh, you got to play him. You got to play him. I get why y'all say that. And in some ways, you logically make sense. But also, when you have an arsenal and you have choices and you have very different people in your team, you kind of need to feed different mouths at different times. Jamison Battle, in some ways, is starting to become a break-in case emergency three-point specialist shooter that this is absolutely fantastic to have, but we don't want to abuse it, guys. Think about this. Think about it this way. Jamison's so potent right now. You just need a little dab of him to get what you need. If you try and play him major minutes, like 30 minutes a game, and he shoots a lot, he may not have the potency with his three-point shooting after a while because he's volume. And with volume, you may more likely get into slumps. You may be more likely to get into periods where you're not shooting well all of a sudden. In some ways, this is part of what's going on with Grady right now. Grady is a little bit more volume. At times, he will show that he's not hitting at the best quality. And that is something that you could be wary of. Now, last night in the situation against Memphis, didn't call for Jamison Battle to come in and do late game heroics like he did on Friday night. In some ways, there was no deficit to overcome. In the third quarter, the Cavaliers took the lead from us in that in-season tournament game on Friday. And in some ways, Jamison Battle came out there to change the game. In some ways, that's a powerful, beautiful kind of thing we can get from him, but it's a potent thing. And in some ways, it shouldn't be utilized every game. This should not be a Lewis Williams year when he won the Sixth Man of the Year for the Raptors with Dwayne Casey as a coach. No, everybody knew we were going to Lou Williams at the end of the game because that was the only thing that Casey called to win the game at the end of the games. And they were doing this on purpose. And he was very successful. He did a good job, Lou Williams. Don't get mad. Don't think I'm mad at it. It's just that it was very played out and called. In some ways, it was just too predictable. In some ways, we don't want to do that necessarily with Jamison. But I have no problem with what they did. You guys, there's a lot of mouths to feed on this team. We got the W, and we didn't even have to break in case of emergency for Jamison Battle. So think about it that way. Ochai Agbaji, 16 minutes, 4 points, 2 rebounds, 2 of 4 from the field. -1. Not the best game by Agbaji, but he's out there. He's being active. And in some ways, like I said, this game was very heavy with the starters and the minutes. And the bench were just kind of in there to give them rest because these guys were cooking. Those starters were cooking. Jacoby Walter, 11 minutes, 0 points, 2 rebounds, 1 steal. Now, see, Jacoby's not scoring in the last couple games, but would anybody say he's playing awful? Like, seriously, do you think Jacoby Walter's played bad in the last couple games? If you think he has, you're not looking close enough because the man's been playing all-out defense. He's very, very on people. The thing I love about what Jacoby's doing right now is he's switching on defense to bigger people, and he's having success kind of guarding them. Like, that's really versatile. Jacoby Walter's versatile. In some ways, he's building his game like OG did. He's going defense first and worrying about that baseline of play. And all the offensive stuff for Jacoby's going to come later, guys. He's barely even taking shots. You say, if I get this defensive intensity, I show coach that I'm going to work my ass off. In some ways, Jacoby Walter's stats aren't on this box score. There's all kinds of stats Jacoby Walter's catching on the court, but they don't count them on the box score. They're intangibles. They're things that you just don't count on a box score. So casuals, I don't know what your opinions are about Jacoby. I don't hear y'all talking about him a lot, but let's pause and recognize the man's playing an intangibles game. He's absolutely playing at a high level right now. Whether it's coming in and crashing on the boards for offensive rebounds, whether it's him getting on the floor to get loose balls, whether it's him coming very savvy, like on defense. He's very savvy. He's in the right place at the right time to help people on defense. And he's also very much playing a very, very aware and attentive defense that is not getting beat, and he's on top of it. So I salute you, Jacoby, even if you're not scoring a whole lot. 20 minutes for Dick, 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 of 6 shooting. So he's 50%, 1 of 4 from 3. Not the most glorious, great game, and Grady's still missing open shots, but he started way better in the first half. And part of the reason why Jamison didn't play in the second half is because Grady actually did do what he's supposed to do. And he knows that. Like Darko probably tells Grady, it's like, Grady, if you just do this, this, and this, I'll let you keep playing. But if he doesn't do the assignments, he's not getting second half minutes. Well, he did the assignments in the first half in the game last night, and he earned his second half minutes. So I'm not mad at Grady. In some ways, look, we can't. And so this is the thing that I hate with some Raptors Nation. They figure that they got to pick favorites and diss one person. They got to get behind one person. It's like versus. No, we want all the plants to grow in our garden. We want to water all of them. We don't want any of them to not be successful. We want them all to be as successful as possible. We're not dissing one guy to prop up another guy like Panzer does. No, fuck that shit. No, we want all of them to do well. We want Jacoby to do well. We want Oshai to do well. We want Colin to do well. We want Shed to do well. We want Elijah to do well. We want Grady to do well. That's what I'm saying. So even if Grady's not doing exactly the best, it's not that we're wishing him to not do better. We want him to do better. We want him to be a badass. We want him to be the full potential of who he can be as an NBA player. Yeah. Every single action where people are kind of like, oh, I don't want this person on our team anymore. I don't want this. I don't want that. This is where we figure out who are really fans for our team or not. Is the people that are wishing for the best for all of our players are our people. The people that are picking and choosing favorites on our team and going after the people that aren't their favorites, these are not Raptors fans. These are critics. These are sad people in their own lives that need to feel that they have power in some other area where they really don't. It's imaginary power. I hate Jacoby Walter. He doesn't score at all. Grady's my guy. So fuck you, Jacoby. I hope they never plays ever again. Darko, stop playing him. See, what kind of attitude is that? That's fucked up attitude. That's not the attitude of the team win for all. That's not the attitude that Darko has instilled in our culture. The attitude of fans that are like that doesn't mirror our culture. You're not with us. You're not, I'm not in the circle of trust with Darko and them that they showed on Open Gym. I could be almost, though, because in some ways they might trust me because they know my heart's in the right place and I'm very passionate for them and the good things and the positivity. The circle of trust won't include a whole bunch of Raptors Nation because seriously, why would they trust these jabronis that are stabbing them in the back and saying crazy ass shit in social media places? Seriously. Hey, that's what I aspire to be. I want to be such a good Raptor freak and such a good fan of this team that they feel like, well, you know what? I kind of feel like we could trust the Raptors freak and put him in the circle of trust with the team and the staff and the coaches. Seriously. Because I am a part of helping y'all. I'm trying to educate Raptors Nation and trying to help them see the positives and root for their team properly. So who knows? I mean, it could be that some of them are watching us. It could be that a relative of some of them is watching us. It could be there is a team official or somebody that works for MLSC that's tabbing on us. Then we are part of the think tank, literally, because some of our ideas come to fruition magically sometimes. The Stargate was saying it last night. It's like, Lex, we put out a laundry list of things we think that the Raptors could do to improve, and boom, goes a dynamite. We see this shit start happening in games after we say it. I don't know. Maybe that's just our egos saying that we're more important than we are. Or maybe it's just basic basketball knowledge is the same no matter who thinks it. I don't know. I'm just saying. Jonathan Mobo with a DMP and Chucky, a DMP also. It's too bad because I did really want to see Chucky make his appearance. Now, Mobo, I want to say this to you specifically right now. Your position on this team is tenuous in some ways, but not really. You are on this team. You will stay on this team as long as you want to. In some ways, you're already in a Udonis Haslem kind of role at the end of his career. And in some ways, listen, you're really important, Jonathan. We need you at any given moment. I know you get this assignment. I know you're going to be ready when Darko calls you back in again. This is a little bit different. You started a lot of games in your rookie year. You got a triple-double. This is a little bit different, this role this year. And I knew this was going to happen this season with Colin coming and Sandro. But listen, you are so important to this team, Mobo. And just listen to your vet, Garrett Temple. He's going to tell you exactly how it is. In some ways, you guys are like each other right now, breaking in case of emergency. And, Garrett hasn't been really had to come out there a whole lot at all, but you will be needing to come out there at times. So just stay ready. And this is the thing I know is going to happen. When Jonathan comes back out there, it's not going to be any different. He's going to come out with the same effort, and he's going to be like his friend Chris Boucher, who's gone to the Celtics this year, and be that kind of guy, a vet and a pro that's prepared and ready when his number gets called. So just keep doing this, Jonathan. Your time will come around again. Don't get your head down. I know that you understand all this, and you've heard all this, and I don't need to say this, but I just want to reiterate it. Because seriously, man, you are going to be a very vital, important person for the Raptors for years to come. not just this year, not just next year, years to come. And in some ways, we need you ready at all times, even if you're not getting to play. Even if you're not getting to play. That's right. Superfan Mo saying, does Colin Murray Boyles get Rookie of the Month at some point, you think? Well, that's a great question, Mo. I'm going to give you a dunk for a fantastic question. You know what? I think that this is what I was thinking last night. It struck me. I think Colin's going to be first-team rookie this year. I really, really do think that that's a very strong possibility as long as he's healthy for most of this year, especially since he's getting to start games already at this point of the season. I think that he will be on the first-team rookie team this year. Not the second team. I think he's going to be one of the top 5 rookies, and he will earn that spot on that first team all rookie this year. 126 from Mo. You know, saying that he'll win Rookie of the Year is a little bit of a stretch considering Cooper Flagg and all this goofy shit around him. Dylan Harper's looking really good so far too. VJ Edgecombe. But, you know, I think this is very possible, Mo, that he could win Rookie of the Month. Yeah, I think this is very, very possible. In fact, he may be in the running right now for it as we speak. Right now for what's going on here. Great question, Mo. Great question. Love having you in the chat, man. Love having you in the chat. G saying Sixers, Bulls, Bucks, Pistons being top 4 right now. It's very early. Was not on my bingo card. This year is going to be wild, I feel. That's what I'm saying. The hierarchy of the East is completely shaken upside down. And it has to do with Halliburton and Tatum. And it has to do with teams that honestly, they made moves and they got worse. They didn't get better this season, the offseason. You know, Milwaukee's one of them. I think the Knicks got worse this offseason on the down low, and people don't even realize it. So, you know, there's a shakeup. And when there's teams kind of not taking the top spots fully and forcefully, that means somebody can. And that's why we need to get going and get a lot of W's and take that elevator all the way to the top of the Eastern Conference. And we will, guys. The signs are there. You see what Brandon's doing. The stuff that Scotty's doing now, he's like I said, he graduated. He elevated his game again. It's every once in a while, it's like a role-playing game, a video game. He's leveling up. Scotty levels up every once in a while. And last night he leveled up again. And it's that all-round game, and he's a man now. He's just a man. He's throwing his body around with weight and strength like he's a man. And it's really, really dangerous for the rest of the league. The possibilities that what Scotty can do. I also love how Scott's shooting his threes now. You know, his threes are way better all of a sudden, and it's shown in his percentage. His shot selection's better for when to shoot them. He's basically only shooting them because he did so bad last year with his 3-point that the scouting report is let Scotty shoot threes now. And while they're leaving him wide open, he's making them pay. He gets so square with his shoulders down his legs to his feet. And he gets so set, and he's got like a certain like motion that's really like he really got it down. He worked on it very hard this summer. And because his hand's not broken or hurt, like his pinkies were both hurt last year. He had really weird things wrong with his hands last year. And that's a big reason why he shot so bad. This is more the real Scott with his 3-point shooting than last year. And that's why I was trying to tell all the casuals and idiots that were downing on Scott and, oh, he's so bad and all this. Dude, he's hurt. And the whole reason why his shooting was bad last year is because his hand wasn't right. Well, his hand's right this year. And look at how he's shooting threes now. And when he's wide open, he's set. That's money in the basket. And even when he takes these knuckleheaded in transition with nobody back threes, but he makes it, I'm like, wow, okay. Scott's feeling it. And I love the confidence he has in his shot right now. He's stepping right into them, and he's just like money. He's money. In some ways, I love the way he's doing his 3-point shot right now. He's not overdoing it. He's balancing it very well with the other ways he can score. And it's not just lazily, I'm going to come up the court and jack threes every time down the court. He was doing that for a little while on our team. And that wasn't the right action. The mixing it up is the right action. Scotty, you're growing, man. You're growing. And that growth will move us up the Eastern Conference. That growth right there. Monique saying, impressed with B.I., Star J, being Star J, and Scotty finishing plays. Yeah, man, Scotty is fun to watch in all kinds of ways. Like he's doing all these weird finger rolls and kind of like, woo, he goes to the basket and he's kind of, he's like doing little like NBA Live 95 moves and graphics, like, you know, stuff like that. It's crazy. Yeah, speaking of old video games, Kyle Lowry's so funny, man. Congratulations to the GOAT on playing in a game and getting in his 20th season in the NBA. Well, it's a high achievement that not many have. Him and Chris Paul are the only point guards that have ever played 20 years. in the NBA. He's officially done it because Nick Nurse put him in at the end of the game the other night. And he hit a 3 in the corner, but he posted something on Instagram that's hilarious. And it's like Family Guy talking about double dribble. You guys played double dribble back in the game. Double dribble. Yeah, that game was awesome. Like for that time, that was the basketball game, even though it was so shitty. And it's funny because Peter Griffin's shooting the corner threes over and go, I got this corner threes. And he's like, don't shoot the corner threes. Cleveland's like yelling at him, don't shoot the corner threes, Peter. You know, all this stuff. And Kyle Lowry goes and shoots the corner 3 and makes the shot. He hit one shot, but it's official. It's 20 years in the NBA for our GOAT, Kyle Lowry. And there's an article in the ESPN page about this. And in it, they say begrudgingly he will retire a Raptor. And they say he is the greatest Raptor of all time in the article. I love that. But yeah, Kyle Lowry, congratulations on 20 years. And thank you, Nick Nurse, for playing him. And yeah, I love the double dribble post, man. It's fun. Like Halloween was fun for Kyle. He was a pimp, and then he was some sort of blue animated character also. That was weird. That was a lot of passion for Halloween that he painted himself blue. That was a weird one. Was that Doug? I don't know that character. That character that Kyle painted himself blue to be. I thought it was Captain Planet at first. But I was like, nah, I'm too old. This cartoon came out way after my time, and I have no idea what this show is. This on PBS Kids or something? And Kyle Lowry was dressed up as something. I don't know what he was, man. It's crazy. Yeah, let's see. Mo's saying this. Raptors 3-4 record. It wasn't pretty at first, but growth as a team, main thing. You know, we should be actually right now 4-3. The game against Milwaukee, we shouldn't have lost. That home opener was so stupid, and it made me mad because that Bucks game, it's going to bug me for the rest of the year. That one game should have been won, the first game against Giannis. We should have done way better in that game. We fumbled that one. So honestly, we could have been 4-3 right now and above 500, but we get a chance to kick Giannis's ass tomorrow back in the Scotiabank Arena because they're coming back. Bucks are circling back and coming through. And I'm doing an early scout. Giannis has missed a game since they played against us. They beat Golden State Warriors without him. And, well, we'll do the scout tonight, and I'll tell you guys tomorrow in the preview about what to expect with Bucks game number 2 of the year, Tuesday night, Scotiabank Arena. I'd like to win this one and even our record for the year going forward. And then, boom, let's just start winning games left and right. I mean, we can – with Trae Young out, the in-season tournament game against Atlanta in Atlanta on Friday night is, yeah, we need to win that one. Trae Young is out, and we've already beaten Atlanta in Atlanta this season. So, yeah, we need to do that. That's right. Superfan saying, nice to see IQ smiling last night. You know, I want to say this. You know, he made a couple threes. He made that first 3 at the beginning. He's not doing his celebration yet. And somebody's he got the memo from Leo Routens and other people saying, you can't do this if you're not winning. You can't do this if you're not playing right and we're getting out rebounded, doubled up. No, you can't do this, Scotty. You can't do the taunting of people. We're not winning. And him and Emmanuel were the ones doing the cocky shit, like the call me maybe, like at the other bench and flexing on Giannis. Yeah, it just comes off juvenile and cheap if you're not actually winning the games. So in some ways, Emmanuel's got to earn the Skip Lee back. He's got to show a promise of making shots, and we have to be winning and going in a good motion. And then the joy will come back even more. In some ways, you want him to just have the joy anyway, but it looks silly and kind of cheap. Like I said, if we're losing, we're getting out rebounded like 40-20, and we're losing by 15, and we're losers. Why are you dancing around? It's like, that's what's going on here. We need to allow success for him, specifically him as an individual, and more success for us, our team. And then these guys can go and gloat and do their goofy extracurricular shit, and it'll make more sense. It's just that they put the cart before the horse. And you can't be celebrating and showing up the other team when you're not actually winning the games. It just don't look right. That's why Leo gave him the riot act last week. He's like, you can't do this, Raptors. You can't do this. So, yeah, it was nice to see IQ smiling. I want to see him skipping soon. And I want to see him calling people too. Like, call me maybe. You know, he needs to get back to that. But he needs to earn the ability to do it. MJ's here. Good to see MJ. One of the best Raptor freaks. Thank you for supporting this channel, Fiercey, as a member. Membership has its privileges. That's right. Good morning, fam, and happy Monday. Phenomenal game by RJ Barrett. And what a treat it is to see how Colin Murray Boyles is getting more and more comfortable. Yeah, it's really interesting because there is a lot he can iron out still. There's still, like I said, rookie mistakes, rookie fouls, and the promise and the potential is there. So that's going to be one of the cool things is like he seems really smart and he seems like a sponge. Like he's going to soak up instruction and learning very fast. And that's good because that may mean he gets really good faster than most people. And, really, like, I just want to see him continue to clean up the rookie mistakes. And, like I said, rebound. He just has to rebound, and I'll be happy with him. If he gets block shots, if he makes some threes, if he makes amazing passes that I did not think he was going to do, that's all extra. In some ways, the main things, especially as a rookie, especially since he's not going to be one of the main go-to guys for offense, he's a garbage man. He needs to get the boards. He can pad his stats by putting offensive putbacks. So the more he focuses around there, and I want him to get so good at it. He's already able to like wrestle people like Steven Adams and Joker and Sengun, and he's holding his own. That's the other thing. He's a rookie. He hasn't gone through the hardening and the muscle building that Grady and Jacoby and Scotty have gone through on the Raptors since they became rookies and came in this league. Colin's just at the beginning, and he has the potential to bulk up and be even stronger than he is right now. That's the other thing people aren't realizing about this shit. He's at the ground floor of his physicality and knowledge of how to play in the NBA, and it's all up, baby, just like us in the Eastern Conference. It's all up. Whoop, right on up to the top. I'm telling you right now. And he's a fast learner. That's the other thing that's crazy about it. So we're going to see where he is in like a month or two or halfway through the year or at the end of the year. We'll see where Colin is, man. It's going to be crazy. Fiercely saying our trio is lethal. Brandon, Barrett, Barnes, given time to IQ, I'm rooting for him. That's right. Give IQ grace. In some ways, that's what a good team is. Look at the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays are supportive and loving to each other. They're a great unit. They're a family. If somebody makes a mistake like Hoffman or this or that, Dalton, are they coming at them and getting mad at them? No, they're a family. And in some ways, they win and lose together. And that's some of the things that Raptors Nation needs to remember. We win and lose together. And Emmanuel's in the family. And even if he's slumping, even if he's having trouble, we are supportive of him and trying to help him get it out of the mud and get going. That's the right action if you're truly a fan of this team. It's not to piss all over him and say, oh, I hate this guy. I want him out of here. No, that's not the right action if you're a true fan of this team. If you're a cynic and a jerk and a toxic fan, maybe you do that. Maybe you dump all over Emmanuel and you write all this crazy shit all over Reddit. Yeah, that's not the right action if you're a real fan of this team. You want our investment in Emmanuel quickly to come back in good ways. You do not want him to fail. You want him to kick ass. And he will. Trust me. Darko said it last night. Well, he feels bad because he's not setting him up to succeed. He wants to help him. And he's going to start helping him more and more. And you're going to see it. And especially when Jakob comes back. A lot of people are going to remember why Emmanuel's a good player when Pirtle's back again. Watch. They're going to remember it real fast all of a sudden. G saying this. Fans need patience with IQ. Man, once again, G and I are like, we got a very similar brainwave. In some ways, it's like, it's just saying this. It's crazy. His confidence may be a bit shaken. I think he's trying his best and just needs some reps with the current roster. Once Yak is back, they will help him too. Man, G and I, I'm going to give G a dunk. G, and this is a crazy thing. He wrote that comment way before. I did not look at it. I did not pre-read it. He wrote that comment way before. He didn't write that after I said it. I said it without seeing it, and it's just one of these weird things that happens. This happens all the time, actually, particularly with our first ever Raptor Freak trivia champion, G. Yeah, 78 for good game. That's right, 78 on the dunk charts. Let's see. Good Game went to Hello and Welcome podcast after the game. There were a few trade RJ people shaking my head. I told them that the better he does, the more their fragile egos will get hurt and the more they will age. Yes, G. Yes. Yes, I love that, man. I mean, look, people wrote a lot of out-of-pocket shit about RJ this summer, and it looks so bad at this point. And in some ways, y'all should feel bad about what you said. Because seriously, RJ Barrett is a hometown hero, and you should stand with him. I love that, G. Yeah, hold up for them. And I'm hoping that William and Alex or holding up for RJ themselves. Seriously. Those are good guys. Alex Wong and William Liu. They're good guys. They should be holding up for RJ on their show. That's right. They care more about being right than winning. There's a problem with this in this world right now, where people just care about they don't care about destruction. They don't care about screwing people over. They just want to feel like they're winning or right. It's really messed up. In fact, there's a lot of crime being committed by people that have this mentality right now. Seriously, a lot of crime. A lot of crime. Yeah, well, these fans are purely working from their ego. That's what it is. The only thing that matters to them is not about whether the Raptors are successful, it's whether they're right. Well, this sounds like a sad person that has nothing else going on in their life. And they opine on the Raptors and they want to be right. And they'd rather the Raptors suffer and be bad and be right than be wrong and the Raptors succeed. That's not a fan. That's not truly a Raptors Nation person that I want around this channel or respect. I don't respect Raptors fans that are like that. I really don't. I really, really don't. It's selfish and it's all about them. That's what it is. It's all about them. That's the problem. Raptors Champs is here. A real rising star in the Raptor Freak family. Raptors Champs. I'm so happy to have you back in the chat this morning. Good morning, Raptor Freaks and Champs. That's right. I like that he says Champs because 2019 Raptors champions. That's right. That Larry O'Brien right behind there. And I got my rings. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's my ring right there. This is Lexus Raptors 2019 Lowry Championship ring. It's nice and heavy. Sometimes I put it on. Sometimes I don't. Yeah, you got to love it. Kiss the ring. That's right, baby. Kiss the ring. Where's the – yeah, we the North. This is, like I said, this isn't one of the cheap ones that are plastic. This is actual gold. And it has actual – they're not really jewels that are expensive. They're fake jewels, but it's very heavy, and it feels like a really authentic ring. Yeah, it's not one of the ones they gave out in the arena. No, but man, I love my championship ring. This is one of my favorite things in the whole entire world. Raptors Champs makes me get my championship ring down to show it to you guys again. There, oh, it's beautiful. Look at the case. Yes, I have to thank Skydome Steve for getting me this ring. He works at the Skydome. The guy gave me sold me this ring. Is one of the groundskeepers for the Jays. Yeah, groundskeeper for the Jays who lives on Kensington Avenue, who was a regular at my store, had a bunch of these. He's like, hey, Lex, a bunch of Raptors championship rings fell off a truck, and I got them. You want them? You want to buy one? And I helped him sell a bunch of them. I helped him sell like 20 or 30 rings to the community of Kensington Market through the convenience store. I was telling people they coming in at that time and say, hey, you want to buy a championship ring? I've got an in on this. I've got Siakam rings. I've got Lowry rings. I've got Kawhi rings. I've got Van Vliet rings. Do you want any of the players that you want? We can get them. And I was helping him sell them. So Skydome Steve, much props, man. And like I said, he's a groundskeeper. He works for the Jays in Rogers Center. And he wears Jay stuff all the time. And his brother, Fernando, he also wears Jay stuff all the time. Those are good guys. I love those brothers that live on Kensington, Steve and Fernando. If you're in the community, you know who I'm talking about. Good guys. Good guys. Cream's here. Good to see Cream Thomas. Kind of crazy that Battle only gets garbage time when he single-handedly won the game a few nights ago. I went over this, Cream. I went over this. Your outrage about this is unfounded and kind of needless. Seriously, it's needless. Let's see. Other than that, great team win. Personally, I think it was the perfect time to what? Oh, okay. Listen, this is the thing I'll say, Kareem. I said it earlier. Jamison Battle is a break-in in case emergency. And I like this weapon. He can heat up and shoot shots. And like I said, he's a potent weapon. In some ways, you don't want to dull the edge of the sword by overusing it. And in some ways, we did not have to use it, then don't use it. And that's what was last night. In some ways, it's like if we use them too much, there's going to be too much of a game plan. It's almost like hide them. And maybe people forget about them and only use them when you really need them. I get the logic of why people are saying, oh, he deserved to play more. And I agree with you to a degree. But also at the same time, I'm going to support my coach's decision because in some ways, we just won. That's all that matters. And Jamison is like Jonathan. In some ways, he's on a break-in case emergency role now, like Garrett Temple. These guys, unfortunately, are our deep bench. And even if Jamison shoots 7 for 7 perfect on Friday night, it does not mean in some ways because of his contract and because of his standing that he's going to get a bigger slice of the pie just automatically going forward forever. Like I said earlier, Darko's got a lot of mouths to feed. And in some ways, it's in his best interest as a development coach to continue to get Walter and Dick out there and play them as much as possible, developing those young guys. In some ways, Jameson's acing the tests. Jameson's like been perfect as an undrafted two-way coming to our team and then getting converted to a full contract. The dude's just solid. And I love how smart he is. And the specialist hopefully will be a Raptor for a long, long time. In some ways, his role will change over time, especially if he gets an upgrade in pay. Like, say, he does so well for us. Bobby and the Raptors decide they want to invest in him, and he moves up the rotation and more into a prominent role in the next couple of years. We got to remember he's a second-year player. And in some ways, he was more of a G League player last year than an NBA player. So we gotta, we love the success. We love the amazing, perfect game. But in some ways, once again, we don't want to dilute things or maybe overuse him or dull him as a weapon, because he is very much a weapon right now. He's so dialed in. It's crazy. Most saying this, refs were on our side. We're so good on the glass. All right, ref report, undefeated. Didn't I call this yesterday? Tyler Ford is badass. Listen, I love you, Tyler Ford. You're seriously maybe the best ref in the NBA right now. Listen, there's no bias in him. The calls yesterday, this is the thing. When you get a truly down-the-line ref, and because he was the head ref, he was in charge. Brandon Schwab could try and run the game last night, and he did have some shitty calls towards us early in the game. Sheree was great. She was looking out for Scotty, and when people complained to her, she listened, and they talked, and, she was a good ref last night, Mitchell. And Tyler Ford's just amazing. I mean, it started with the check out where Brandon Ingram landed on the shot, and let's see if we need to upgrade this to a flagrant foul. I mean, seriously, how often are referees going to say, you know what? I respect the Raptors enough that I want to go and make sure that Brandon did not have a problem, because in some ways I kind of saw his foot get it kind of turned to the side where Jaren Jackson didn't let him land. And well, they upgraded it. Tyler Ford went and looked at the cartoons and said, yeah, this is a flagrant foul. He did not give him a proper landing space. And that is unbiased refereeing. It's just crazy. Some people say that's favoritism to us. No, that's the ref actually just giving us the fair shake of actually going and doing what they would do for the Lakers or the Celtics or the Knicks in a heartbeat, and that they never hardly ever do for us. And they did it because Tyler Ford's like that. He's by the book. He's straight down the middle. And he did a fantastic job. In fact, he was calling offensive charges. He was calling all kinds of stuff the right way. And that's what I'm saying. The Raptors have good percentages with the right refs because we are a winning team. And we should have winning records with a lot of the refs because we've been one of the most winning teams in the last 15 years of the NBA's history. And Tyler Ford's a 10-year ref. So it's no joke that we have almost a 70% winning percentage with him. And he's amazing. He did a great job last night. It was a good crew. And I appreciate you, Tyler Ford, one of the best refs in the league. And I'm not just saying that because it seemed like he was favoring us. No, that's not favoritism. He calls it with no bias, right down the line. And that's what it looks like when you actually have unbiased refs. That's what it looks like right there. Yeah. Kareem's saying this. So what happens when Yak is back? I mean, CMB is him. He kind of deserves to be a starter. Nobody deserves anything. And I love what I heard last night. I'm going to go over in a sec. Nobody deserves nothing. Stop acting like everybody just deserves shit. You earn it every single time and every single night. You don't just get it given to you for the whole rest of the time. No, that's the one problem some Raptors fans have. Is, he just deserves this. He deserves this. He deserves. No, nobody deserves jack shit. This is an unfair world. And you need to go and prove yourself over and over again constantly to continue to tread water and be in the world of the NBA and doing what you're doing. Nobody deserves shit. Jameson doesn't deserve shit. Colin doesn't deserve shit. They got to come to the game and earn it every single night, each time. Because this is what Darko said to RJ, apparently. This is what Darko said in the interview last night. This is amazing. And I love this. Darko said to RJ when he got traded to our team from New York, you're starting right now, but don't get used to it. You could be coming off the bench at any time. Yeah. He said that to RJ. And all these people have been saying, RJ should be coming off the bench. RJ should be coming off the bench. RJ's been on our team for a year and a half. Has he come off the bench yet since he came into the Toronto Raptors? No, he hasn't. And you know why? Because he does the work every single time and proves to Darko that he has to be the starter. He's earned it every single time. Darko said to him, he's like, this is not given to you. You've not just granted this. And this is the mentality that I'm talking about, Kareem, right here. Do you think these guys are just given and granted this shit? No, no. And this isn't a problem. Colin will come off the bench again because he's a rookie and he should. And Yak should start as the center. That's the right lineup, the lineup we're paying the most, the 5 that we're supposed to be starting. And there's no problem with this. Colin's got opportunity right now. That's why they say you got to wait for your chances and jump on it. And he's jumping on it. He's doing great. But look, Darko told RJ when he showed up and he got traded there, he's like, don't expect to just be granted you're going to be starting all the time. I might bring you off the bench sometimes. So RJ knows that. He's got that in his head. And some of that is part of the reason why he works the way he does. He doesn't want to come off the bench, obviously. He wants to start. Star J wants to start. And, well, Star J has gotten to start. In 1.5 years of being a Raptor, he has not been taken out of that starting lineup because he's like that. And he's put in the work and he's earned it each and every time he gets on the court. And that's the thing. I'm not going to grant anything or give anything to people like Zion and Ja Morant when they got no track record, because this is the way this league's supposed to be. There's too many people in the younger generations think, oh, we're just doing handouts here. Oh, you're just supposed to get this. You're just supposed to get that. Cooper Flagg said this league is way harder than I thought. Oh my gosh, I'm not doing as well as I thought because this league is harder than I thought. Yeah, exactly. Because you have to earn things in here, and all the hype and all the bullshit that you say. Even Victor Wembanyama wasn't a grand slam hit home run right away. And it's taken what? He's in his 3rd year finally starting to hit, making an impact in this league. That's the thing. I'm sick of people giving people things ahead of when they earned it. And that's the thing. If you earned it, you get it. And that's what RJ gets. So Colin Murray-Boyles wants to start. Well, that's up to him. He's got to learn how to earn it over and over again. And if somebody's higher on the pecking order and they're already getting paid more than him and they already established more, sorry, bro, even if you do well, that's an unfair world. You got to come off the bench still. And that's just how it is, Kareem. I wish you could see this. Even if Battle shot perfect, even if Colin's doing so great, nothing is given over and over again just forever after that. You have to keep earning it over and over again. And that's just part of it. That's just part of it. And that's the way it should be, because that's how you win. That's how you get better. You don't reward mediocrity. You don't reward people ahead of time and saying, you just got this, yo. You just got this. No, that's where laziness comes. That's where complacency comes. That's where people start being Ben Simmons. That's when that happens. That's what I'm saying right there. That's right. That's right. But that would mean someone will be bumped out of the starting lineup. Would you do this or just have CMB off the bench? Just have CFB off the bench. He's a rookie. He's on rookie contract. He doesn't have a lot of experience. In some ways, we're kind of doing trapeze art without a net with him out there. Seriously, he's not really that, we're doing okay. In some ways, the last 2 teams we played have been shitty, and we look real good against them. We play better teams without Yak. We'll get exposed. And in some ways, having Colin out there as the starting center is going to get exposed at some point against certain teams. I mean, you could kind of say that happened with Houston. So, no, Yak will come back to the starting lineup, and Colin will be one of the first bigs off the bench. And that's the way it should be. It's all in its right order and the way it's supposed to be. You earn it. You don't just get it. That's right. Shaq Lindsay saying, I told you about CMB. Comment who? There you go, Shaq Lindsay. All right, you get a dump. Supporter of this channel, Shaq Lindsay, member of this channel. And also, you know what? Listen, Shaq Lindsay's been on a journey with us over the years. And in some ways, you know what? I'm more and more finding that Shaq Lindsay is one of the most astute Raptor freaks. And I appreciate Shaq Lindsay's presence day to day on this channel. 105 for Shaq Lindsay on the dunk charts. Yeah. Yeah. I love that you have the confidence in Colin. I remember you guys around draft time. Some of you guys were Murray Boyles guys. I just didn't see it. In some ways, I very much was blinded and solely focused on Common Maluak. But I guess I should have understood. Colin Murray Boyles, the metrics, the hands, these are all things. That's right. Common who? That's right. Common player. Okay, Neil's coming with his signature emoticon. Good morning to you, Blackhawk. Best version of IQ is shoot more, drive, and kick. IQ did excellent cross-court pass to Grady, and that was the 1 3-pointer Grady hit. Yeah, that synergy is what we want to derive more. In some ways, Jamal gets this. And I love what Alvin said in the game, in the broadcast. Alvin Williams, you were on point last night. Alvin Williams is teaching Raptors Nation, just like Ludo Routens and Jack Armstrong do. And what he was teaching last night was, and he was talking about this, his heyday playing with Vince Carter. he would set Vince Carter up a lot. And near the end of the game, Vince will start getting doubled and he'd have to pass out of it. And that would mean all kinds of open shot opportunities for himself. And Alvin Williams would get nice open 3-point shots. And I remember this. I was watching. I remember exactly what Alvin was talking about in the game with him and Vince and the way Alvin was Vince's point guard. Well, Shed and IQ, when they set up people like Brandon and Scotty and other people, at the end of the game, you see Brandon's getting collapsed on. And just like Alvin said, he's kicking the ball out and Shed's hitting an open 3. That's the thing that these guys got to realize is you can get better looks and play better basketball off of the talent that we have. And I really opened my eyes last night more and more that the Raptors need to start playing way more two-man game, just like I've been saying for the last week, because it's been showing up and it's been very fruitful. Because look, you can do this in different combinations every time down the court. You could do a little give and go with Scotty and Brandon, and that's very powerful. Between their two skill sets and just how talented they are, you can't stop it. There's no way you can fucking stop two-man action with Ingram and Barnes. Those guys will figure out a shot that's very high percentage and score on you. You can't stop that shit. It's impossible. So it's very impossible in some ways to stop Ingram and Murray Boyles in a two-man game, apparently, is what I found out last night. And it's very hard to stop a Barnes and Barrett two-man game. You could get into a two-man game with a pick and roll classic with Yaks healthy, with IQ. That's very hard to stop too. We've seen that a lot in the last year or so. I'm just saying, I think that Darko would be very smart. In some ways, I see him do triangles sometimes with 3 players kind of playing off each other, but you don't even need to do that. Like I said, you isolate 2 guys on one side, and this isn't like normal isolation kind of stuff where Brandon can do this that way too. But if you have a 2-man isolation on one side and you put the other guys in the right places, there's so much fruit for Darko to pick from those kind of actions with the talent level we have right now. I'm just saying, give and go, pick and roll, all kinds of different cutting. This is the stuff that we need to be doing and making the generator of our offense, because we will be able to score on anybody in this league with this right decision making and playing off of each other. It's going to be so good, man. I want to see this more and more. In fact, I'm enjoying this stuff so much. Really, really enjoying it so much. So yeah, I love the pass to Grady. And in some ways, you point guards, that's your job. Like Alvin said, you get the other guys involved. You get them going. That's your job, IQ. That's your job, Jamal Shed, to get your teammates going and get them feeling good so they're making more shots and the team effort goes up and we have more of a chance to win. That's the point guard's role. Seymour's here. Good to see you, the Sheriff. Seymour Pape. If you want to call me, Seymour, and do some 4 quarters, the phone line is open. He's saying Dallas GM is calling the league head office, asking for BJ Edgecombe to be drug tested. Is that a true story? I would have said Nico Harrison needs to be drug tested for trading Luka Doncic last year. That's what I would have said right there. That's right. Monique saying, love how the Raptors made adjustments after adjustments in this game. I love this because in some ways, thank you, Darko. Seriously, you're doing a really good job with the timeouts. I feel like your rotations have been really top notch. I like the different groups that you're trying out there. There's one group that you seem to play every game recently where Brandon's the only starter and he's out there with like Walter, Shed, Grady, and Oshai or something like that. Those kind of lineups are awesome because I kind of like to see Brandon Ingram work with the second unit guys, the rookies from last year. And I just think that he's done a really good job of subbing guys in and out. And then he's also very quick with the timeouts. Like if he's seeing stuff that's not totally right and we're in disarray, he's not waiting. He's stopping it. He's being proactive before the score gets too bad out of shape. That's a big difference from Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse would try and let the team work it out and go through it, and he'd just make the game worse because he wouldn't call a timeout. Well, Darko's very preemptive in getting that timeout right away. So I love how the coaching staff has been doing the last 2 wins because they gave me way more ammunition on this channel to support them and give factual evidence that our coach is very good and that they are doing a good job. That's the problem. You go on a 4-game losing streak and it seems like the team is not getting anywhere and they're making really horrible mistakes and it's really dismal because you get double out rebounded. Yeah, it's hard for me to defend him but getting 2 wins and seeing very excellent decisions, tactical decisions, makes it easier. Makes it way easier. One of my favorite things that the Raptors are doing is a play call off the inbounds where a Shed or Emmanuel will inbounds the ball and they get it to RJ. And RJ's on the baseline. And basically, RJ just backs into the basket and puts the ball in. I love that out of bounds play. And that's definitely one that Darko's calling. He's like, yeah, get the RJ, back him in with his butt. Just lay it up like right underneath the basket move. And RJ's so good, he'll flip it over his head and he'll just put it in that way. But yeah, when he does that move, they should have the sound of the truck going beep, 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 because he's backing into that lane with his ass. And that's one of the weirdest inbounds plays to get a score is, all right, just throw it to RJ on the baseline and let him back it up. And he'll back that shit right up in there and he'll just lay it in. They've done it 2 games in a row. I've seen it 2 games in a row. It's a really cool play. I like it. Neil's saying this, with weight training, there must be rest for the magic to work. That's the thing. This is science. This is sports science and medicine. And Dr. McKechnie is a vice president, executive vice president in our team. He gets paid the big bucks because he's good at this. And these guys are really understanding their nutrition, understanding downtime off of the time when they work out. Yeah, I bet it's fun for them too. Like they're in the NBA and they want to be successful. And in some ways, this is part of the reason why we're an attractive team to play for. Because we develop guys with skill and knowledge, but we develop their bodies too. And we have a top-notch nutrition and strength training program for our team because we see it across the board with our roster. And in some ways, that's got to be fun. You know, Grady and Jacoby getting bigger muscles on their body is kind of like, this is really encouraging. I look different. Look at my muscles, Mom. Look at my muscles, Mom. Yes, Grady, you're really growing as a dick. Whoa, pause. But yeah, it must be really encouraging and kind of like, you know how it is when you're in the middle of something, you want to make progress and you're seeing progress and results. That's got to be a lot of fun for a lot of the Raptors. You know, RJ got these guns all of a sudden. I'm sure he's like, yeah, look at me. Yeah, you don't want to fuck with me. Shit, come on now. You know, it's like that. It's like that right now with these guys. It's amazing. G's saying Ingram's defense and footwork on defense has already improved a ton. Yes, some of it's just orientation. A lot of the stuff that looked really bad in the 4-game losing streak was just newness and getting used to each other and being like, it's the first week of school. Hi, you're my new classmates. Hi, you're going to be my lab partner. I wonder how we work with the Bunsen burners. Yeah, it's just feeling things out. It's familiarity. It's getting to the point where it's like, okay, we're in the regular season now, not preseason, not training in Vegas at Summer League with the team in the ballroom. No, we are actually playing against real teams now. We can have all the time the whole summer with Brandon, but in some ways we can't actually test this until we actually get into the real game situations and go through it. And then we see where there's problems, whether it's spacing. You know, Colin Murray Boyles was talking about this last night, and this is part of the learning curve in the post-game conference that the coach Darko talked to him from the game on Friday to the game last night to work on spacing in the lane with Scotty and to understand like how to displace yourself to allow the offense to have a lane or a place to go to score. Because in some ways, maybe Colin wasn't totally cognizant or aware that, you know, we can clog the lane and make it hard for ourselves to score if too many people are down there. So there was lessons taught to Murray Boyles since Friday about leaving the space open near the lane so that things are more flowing. And he heard him. He listened to him. And we saw a difference in the game last night from Friday in that area with Murray Boyles. And that's the rookie learning curve. These are just things that, you know, as they come up, Darko and the coaching staff have to instruct and change and adjust and teach. And with Brandon as a 10-year vet, somebody who's been in the league a long time, it's really kind of just fit and getting to know how people play, but not really learning the NBA game. But with Colin, it's learning the NBA game and learning the fit of all of his players too. So there's a lot in there. There's a lot in there, man. It's pretty cool. James is saying this. Scotty just needs to play make, defend, get boards, and do some post scoring, in my opinion. This is the best version of him. No need to be a leading scorer. We have RJ and BI. Yes. Thank you. Yes. These are things we've been saying all summer. James. And now in some ways, people can kind of see why I was saying this summer. Scotty does not need to average 30. Scotty does not even need to average 20. In some ways, we need him to average 15 maybe, or 15 to 19, and just have almost a triple double in his stats. Seriously, that would be the best stat line from Scott. Seriously, that will mean we're winning a lot. And you know what? Once again, just like Jacoby Walter, there's a lot of shadow box score. Maybe I'll talk about the shadow box score being the intangibles that don't get counted. Scotty's racking up a bunch of stat stuff on the intangibles box score, other than the real box score that we can see his stats on. He's doing intangibles out there, just like Jacoby, and that stuff doesn't get registered. And in some ways, people don't get credit for that shit. It's dirty work. It's like thankless work, and casuals will not see it or understand it. But Scotty's putting in that effort too on the shadow box score, is what I'm saying. But that takes off. That'll be my thing. I say, if anybody starts saying shadow box score, what is that? What's the shadow box score? Oh, that's the intangibles. That's the stuff that doesn't get counted on the stat sheet. That's the stuff you need to win. Yeah, that's the stuff. King's back, y'all. To the Point, a great YouTube channel. Y'all check out To the Point. I think King's been live streaming during the games. So if you want somebody to hang out with during the games, you can go and hang out on To the Point with him. He's saying, what up, Freak Nation? Was a couple rows from courtside last night. The energy in the arena was amazing. You went to the game last night? That's cool, man. I almost went. You know what? It was weird. Like, I wanted to go. It was like, man, I could kind of go. But everybody was busy, and I didn't really feel like going by myself. If Gerald was not working, I would have gone with Gerald. But Naco the Nacho had to go to work at 4. So he couldn't meet me at the game. And then my friend Steve, he was busy with his girlfriend, and Adriana was busy. I couldn't find anybody to go with. And I was like, I'll just stay home. Maybe this is a sign that I should just stay home and enjoy the game in the comfort of my own home and not drive my ass all the way downtown and drive around all day and spend a bunch of money too to go to the game. So I just stayed home and watched it home. But I almost went. I'm glad you went. And that would have been a fun game to be at. There was a really good atmosphere in the game last night. Definitely a good atmosphere. Shaq Lindsay saying people don't realize how ahead of the curve Colin Murray Boyles is in regard to his IQ, body, and effort he puts in to get better. Compare Colin to Jonathan Kuminga. Was Kuminga putting up these stats when he was in his rookie year? This is right. Shaq Lindsay's right. I mean, this is part of the fun, and this is part of the premium of why Bobby probably picked him, is because he knew he was fresh out the box, ready to rock, get out in the court and just kick some socks. This dude is bad. Like the thing that's the most uncommon about Colin is the IQ thing is great. And we're just discovering this, that he's a fast learner and he's high IQ and he can pass. But the thing that's the most amazing about him is that he has the strength already. That this shouldn't be happening this way. There shouldn't be no way that this dude's somewhat not totally holding his own equally with Steven Adams, but at least kind of being on the scale with him. That's crazy. That is really uncommon, Malawak, is that you have an NBA strength guy who absolutely is surviving, in some ways thriving in the world of strength in the NBA in 5 games of his NBA career already. And this is true. You can point at Kuminga. They're kind of comparable size-wise in some ways. But in some ways, it's like Colin's stronger than he looks in his body. There's an innate strength inside of him. And some of this is that Barkley shit I'm talking about. That man has so much Charles Barkley DNA in him. I don't know if he's related to Charles, but in some ways, it seems like he is. Like, seriously, Colin, do you have a family member that's related to to Charles Barkley? Because there's a lot of parallels between you and Charles Barkley's DNA. You guys are very similar. The explosive leaper, the weird half-ass mustache. It's a very similar thing what's going on with you and Barkley. It's very weird. That's why he's my comparison right there. Fiercely saying, since when does having too much talent on a team a problem? Well, it was a problem when we had McGrady. And that was the whole reason why McGrady had to leave. That's why I hate this narrative. That's why when people come out with this narrative in Raptors Nation, I'm like, motherfucker, didn't you learn anything from Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter? Seriously, don't give me this shit. Is that attitude and your talk and your rhetoric that led to driving McGrady to Orlando 25 years ago? So understand this, Raptors Nation. This isn't my first rodeo. I've been here the whole 31 years, and I've seen all the mistakes we made. And some of y'all youngsters, you talk out your ass. You don't understand the history of the Raptors, and you don't understand the different things that we've gone through at different points, you're not educated enough to have an opinion on this. And everybody who says we have too much talent, that's not a problem. That is actually a really good thing to do and have. If Bobby can pay it and make it happen, why not be more like the Dodgers and have as much talent on your team as possible? Why not? That's going to help you win. It's crazy. I don't get that, man. I don't get why they're like that. Yeah. They don't want to say Raptors are stacked, which signals they want us to fail. Alexis Wright, those are not fans. Listen, you can tell me you're a Raptors fan to my face like Tyler did yesterday, but your actions and words speak louder. In some ways, it's actually your words speak louder than your actions, because I don't know what you're doing in your life. I can't judge your actions, but I can judge your words. And your words, if they're kind of hollow and they're kind of coming off wrong, like seriously, the thing that Tyler did yesterday was the most egregious thing that got him kicked off this channel was that he decided to prop up Zion over Scotty for no reason. And he talked about a game where the Pelicans shellacked us. And honestly, the whole team was bad. You couldn't just point out Scotty. But he took the opportunity to dump on Scott for no reason. That is not what a Raptors fan does. Seriously, he's our franchise player. He's a badass. Did you not see how he played yesterday, Tyler? So you're coming at me saying you're disrespecting John Morant. Motherfucker, you're disrespecting Scotty Barnes. And you're a Raptors fan? So shut the fuck up forever. Bye, Felicia. And that's where it's at. It's like, look, you can show me who you are by what you say. And that's why the people that are with me that understand this whole concept, that understand and respect Raptors history and culture and the players and the coaches and the whole thing, that's why they stay here. And the ones that don't, well, they find the door at some point. They get filtered out. And it's sad because, like, look, I want more people to enjoy my channel. I want more people to come in, but I don't have time for knuckleheads. And especially when knuckleheads are coming at me with the same damn comments over and over again and just arguing to argue for argue's sake. In some ways, we had to work some of that out with Logical's Raptors fanatic at some point. But, you know, that's the thing. If you're not getting it, listen, you're not going to win me over. You're not going to argue me over unless you make valid points that make sense. You can win me over. And I've trusted Raptor freaks do it all the time. But a casual or somebody who just came in here for the first couple of days and you're trying to argue with me and make me see your side and make me just agree with you, you better have good points and you better make sense. Because if you don't and you're doing certain stuff, I'm not going to agree with you. And you have to be okay with that. Just like I have to be okay with everybody else disagreeing with me at different times too. That's the difference. See, that's the problem. A lot of people aren't getting this. It's not a dictatorship, just like the fuck face in the White House wants. That I only say what I know, what I believe, and that's the only thing that's true. No, that shouldn't be the world. Everybody should have diversity in their thoughts and their feelings and their freedom to have expression and opinions of themselves. And I'm like that. And I stand up for that. Even if people disagree with me, I would fight for your right to have that privilege and that right to do that. Some people don't want that in this world, though. They want one line of thinking and one line of saying and one line of everybody being the same. We have to fight that energy in this world because that's totalitarian dictatorship energy. And seriously, we don't all have to agree. And the biggest fatal flaw for Tyler yesterday was you didn't agree to disagree and shut up. And that's the problem right there. That was the biggest flaw right there. Yeah, let's keep going. Superfan Mo saying how we opened the third quarter. Fire. Yeah, in some ways it looked like the Grizzlies were scared and tired, and they looked very G League level at the beginning of the third quarter. They looked very G League-ish for a while in the game last night. And I love it. I love it. These are parts of the game that Monique really looks at with a magnifying glass. She cares about how we start the third because she knows the history of the Raptors, being a very long-standing, huge Raptors fan. She understands the history of deflating returns from halftime to get down all of a sudden. In fact, we saw that the other day against Cleveland when we came out flat, and Darko did really smart substitution, sub two of our starters out, including Murray Boyles, because we were so flat after halftime against the Cavs. We gave up a 5-point lead at halftime, and it turned into a 10-point lead for the Cavs. Well, the adjustment was there. And in some ways, Monique is quality control for this. I know she is because she's brought this up for years now. Raptors, come back out after the halftime and play quality and play smart and play good. So she's watching this. And, well, she's giving passing grades for last night. And I appreciate Monique for quality control on how we start the game and we start the second half. That's right. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Fiercely saying, call them jabronis. Jabronis? Okay, I'll call them jabronis. Reddit jabronis. We got Instagram idiots. We got Facebook fakes. And we got Reddit jabronis. All right. All right, Fiercely. We're going to do that. Stargate is here. My good friend Stargate, who I enjoyed watching the game with last night on Discord and opining. And Fiercely was there too. Very nice to have different names. Oh, also James was involved in our chat last night. Good to see all you guys last night. These modern fans are so entrenched in the NBA 2K fantasy basketball mindset. They believe the real thing is the same. They think that the real teams can just trade players willy-nilly like a video game. Yeah, that's part of the problem. And that has been a problem for a while. Trade machine heads, people that play video games that think that they can just make movements really loosely. Once again, making movements means you made mistakes, and you want to make as least of movements as you can because you want to get it right the first time. The other thing that's adding to the misinformation and perception of NBA players is the gambling, guys. Think about this. If you're a degenerate FanDuel gambler and you just gamble all the time on the NBA, and there's a lot of these idiots right now. In some ways, they're not even fans of the NBA. They're fans of gambling and dopamine. They're not fans of the league. And in some ways, they show it because they are very callous and they don't really care about the players as humans. They'll talk to them like they're just people that are on the computer screen that made them lose money. No, the thing is that some people are going to start shaping their opinions on whether players piss them off with their bets. Some people will have personal proclivities to diss or hate a player just because that person made them lose money. We have to figure in this whole realm of misperception and misjudging because people are basing things off of their own personal economic things that happen with betting. Seriously, there's going to be a whole other realm of misinformed idiots that are totally basing some of their shit off of their own personal feelings because of making or missing parlays. It's going to get worse, Stargate, because of what I just said. Forget about the trade machine heads and the ESPN 2K overimportance. Oh, it's 2K. Ronnie made this rating, so this is money. The reality is, no, forget that. There's going to be even more people with stupid-ass opinions, partly because of gambling failures. It's going to be crazy. Some people really love some players because they're good luck, too, and they'll be the shittiest player in the world, too. So there's going to be a lot of people that don't know what they're talking about, partly because of the gambling, not just because of the fantasy, not just because of the video games. That's right. Doesn't look like that in real life, kids. That's right. That's right. Shaq Lindsay saying this. Players like Scotty, Colin, RJ, and Shed are high character players that have leadership qualities. With the addition of BI, who has the Mamba mentality, the sky's the limit. These 4 players are the building blocks to having a playoff team. Yeah, these 5 players. Yeah. No, we've got a good team. And honestly, even with IQ not playing well, even with Yak out, we have more power in our team that we're going to see more and more as the season goes on. In some ways, we got to just get through the season game by game and take it game by game. And the winning strategy every game will be different. One game, it'll be Jamison Battle being perfect and bombing things out to win an in-season tournament game. One game, it'll be more of what we saw yesterday with a quartet of the starters just being very, very powerful with their talent and overpowering a depleted Grizzlies team. We got to be fair on that. Yeah. Fiercely saying, Lex drinking the barbecue sauce, and we see the bottle is almost empty already. Yeah, I love this stuff. I'm not going to lie. I've been using this on everything, like even on foods where I'm not even supposed to put barbecue sauce on it. It just tastes so good. I'll just add to anything. So I'm just putting barbecue sauce on things like people who put hot sauce on things. In fact, I hope that my grocery store has more of this in stock because when I come back, I'm going to buy like 4 bottles of this. Seriously, I might buy a starting 5 of them. I'll get 5. I'll have the point guard to the center of the barbecue sauce. I might even have to try the other flavors too. But this one's it. This is a home run right here, man. I'm serious. If you're familiar with Sonny's Real Pit Barbecue, somebody like Bryce Lawson, who's down in Kentucky, you know what I'm talking about with this barbecue taste right here. And in some ways, look, I grew up in the South. I grew up in Tallahassee, Florida. I know barbecue better than most Canadians because they don't do it exactly right up here. Southern barbecue is a totally different kind of thing, and it takes a certain temperature and a certain kind of way to get that flavor exactly right. In some ways, it's tough to do it up here in Canada because the air and the temperature and different things is not exactly right to get the consistent mesquite, smoky barbecue kind of shit that I was used to down in Florida, especially at like a FAMU cookout. You know, my dad, he taught at Florida A&M, and we would go to the cookouts. And man, that food was good at Florida A&M. The Rattlers. Strike. Yeah, man. Oh my gosh, the barbecue was so good as a kid going to those. There's many, many good memories of me as a kid in Tallahassee going to great cookouts at FAMU campus. Woo-wee! That food was good. It was good. I'm telling you. Stargate saying this. The funny thing is the people you are calling for trading RJ cannot give you a lesson as to why or what. This is the other thing. It's just like the right-wing politicians around. They don't have good answers for anything because they don't have any answers. They're just here to destroy and humiliate and make people feel like shit and to be stealing money from people. They don't really have answers. They don't have any solutions for healthcare. They just want to destroy healthcare. They just want to destroy the post office. They don't have any answers. That's the thing. These people are just destructive. They're not positive. They're negative people, and they don't really have any positive answers. That's the problem. It's the same kind of energy. It's the same kind of energy. Shaq Lindsay saying this, when Colin builds up his stamina, he will be all over the court getting steals, blocking shots, and making them. And just wait. You will see. I think you're right. I think that once again, the thing is the learning curve for rookies is understanding where the best place for you to be is the optimal place. He doesn't even know yet. Like there's a lot of opportunities I'm seeing already that he could go do. He's not seeing yet, but he will see in the years to come. He may see it in the weeks to come, in the days to come. He's that fast at learning. So yeah, there's a lot of growth and a potential with Colin Murray Boyles that he's going to be really a powerful defender. A couple different ways. He would already like that. We saw with his hands in summer league, and his work at South Carolina is kind of like this too in his college years. So you're right, Shaq Lindsay. When he figures out more and more, we're going to see him getting his hand in the cookie jar and stealing them cookies from the other team. That's going to be happening. Seriously, there's going to be a little bit of claw action in there. Let's see. Stargate saying, I want to see how the Raptors play against the top team at full health with Yak in. These last two wins were very good for the team's confidence. Yeah, let's not get it twisted. These were not the best versions of either team, but we need to do what we can against the team that shows up. And as long as we're getting W's as the team's levels of opponent, we just got to take the assignment every night and do our best and get the W. We can't control whether they're not as good as they should be, and we can't control whether they have their very best team also. So we just show up, we play the team we got to play, and we beat them. That's it. Let's keep it simple, Raptors fans. And let's not overanalyze it or say some bullshit or put down our team for success just because the other team didn't have their full team. That is really not a fan's action either. We're calling out bad fan action. That's a bad fan action. And you can say, oh, I'm a realist. I'm just telling the truth. Yeah, but you're also a Debbie Downer and you're an asshole. And you don't need to say this. Just let us play and let us have fun and let us enjoy winning. You can't let us enjoy just winning. Yeah, but they were a shitty Cleveland team. Who cares? That doesn't mean we're good. You know what? You're an asshole. Fuck off. Go find a short pier and jump in a lake is what I tell a person like that. Seriously. Seriously, it's like, do you need to tell us this? No, you don't. We don't care what your opinion is. We won. We're happy. You can be miserable in your own life and not enjoy Raptors wins, you asshole. That's what I say on that. Seriously. Seriously. Let's see. Fiercely's saying this. I don't like the Sportsnet cast so much, but my silver lining is Alvin Williams. Knowledge and commentary. He is very good for true Raptors fans or those who are new and want to gain valuable historic pieces. Yeah, Alvin's amazing. Everybody who didn't think Alvin should be in that spot, you're wrong. And he's been amazing. He really kind of messed up last night for a second, though. I think he got in trouble for this, too. You know, the NBA players, they have nicknames for each other in the games. And he kind of let out the nickname for Brevin Knight last night. And it was kind of funny when he did it. But in some ways, he probably got shit for it in halftime because he did seem like he was a little bit more sobered up. Not that he's been drinking, but just a little bit more serious and kind of like, whoa, maybe I shouldn't have said that. He called Brevin Knight milk dud head last night. And I thought that was hilarious. In some ways, it's not totally sensitive to PC kind of stuff. But also, I understand that that's probably what these players have called Brevin Knight for decades around the NBA. Like when they're on the court and they're playing, there's probably some shit talking. And Alvin Williams has just always known Brevin Knight as milk dud head. I laugh when he said that, and I get it. Optically, this is not the best thing you should be saying in a PC world. In some ways, that's fucked up. But some people would argue that this is funny. In some way, come on, man. Don't take this away from us. But I'm pretty sure Alvin got a little note after he called the opposite team's broadcaster Milk Dud Head. But the NBA players in his era were calling Brevin Knight in the game Milk Dud Head. Get out of here, Milk Dud Head. You can't guard me. And that's funny to a degree, if not racially insensitive and kind of like not PC. But, Alvin's awesome, man. I love Alvin so much, man. Michaud, you're talking too much. Seriously. In some ways, I don't want to hear Danielle Michaud talk for 5 minutes on the microphone. I'd much rather hear Alvin and Matt call the game. And the sideline reporters should be fast and out. But she's like going on and on. Kayla Gray was doing this a couple times last year, and it was annoying me. It was like, Kayla, tighten up your script. When you go in, they throw it to you, and you're going to do your little update. Don't fucking talk for 5 minutes because there's action going up and down the court. And you're taking away from the call of Matt Devlin when you're fucking rambling on your sideline reporting. This is always supposed to be just a very quick update. But Danielle Michaud wanted to write novels last night with her parts on this broadcast. It was just talking and talking and talking. And my eyes are glazing over. And I'm just like, God damn it. Just move on. Throw it to Matt and Alvin, please. God, jeez, just shut up. It's like you could cut your copy a little bit shorter and tighten up, Danielle, because you weigh down the broadcast and you're just trying to talk too much, too fast in such a small window. I know this job. I went to school for broadcasting. I had done sideline reporting. You're supposed to be faster than this. And if your copy is like 2 pages and what you're trying to fucking say, you need to shorten that shit and be more concise. Because in some ways, it's like, whatever. And once again, Michaud and Faye, did Ed Rogers put you up to bringing up the Blue Jays over and over again in the game last night? We didn't need to hear that. We're on basketball season now. And you making us feel the pain of the World Series Game 7 loss over and over again. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. Spoon Brown Man, Reggie wants to move on. He's ready for basketball season. And y'all throwing that in our faces over and over again last night. Yeah, Sherman was right. Can we say this no more, please? Please just stop saying this about the Jays. We get it. They lost in the World Series to the Dodgers in Game 7 last night. It's heartbreaking. Okay, we get it. You don't have to keep saying it. Seriously. Shaq Lindsay saying this. We thought that BI would be the Glorilla glue for this roster, but it's CMB. Glorilla, she was there, man. Apparently she's been at every game for our team so far this year, and she's really supporting her man, number 3. And she was on Raptors Admin last night after the game. They're showing her off now. There for her man, Glorilla. I love it, man. I love it. And I love that, you know what? She's becoming more of a Raptors fan. Like when he hit that late 3 in the game, I think it was last night or maybe it was Friday, she was very ecstatic at courtside. And they showed her afterwards. Oh, she's like, woo, Brandon made a 3. That's my boyfriend. I love him. I love you, Brandon. Love you, Glorilla. Is that shit going on in the game? It's cool. Love is love. Let him be love, Here, we got love coming in right here. Words of wisdom coming from our good friend, Randolph Phillips. Beloved, blessings, Raptor Freaks, family. The smallest deed you do is better than the greatest intention you may have. Hell is full of people with good intentions. I've heard that one before. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. That's interesting. You're making me think about that saying in a different way, because I've always thought of the road to hell is paved with good intentions is like you go and do something nice for someone and then you just get a whole headache and all this kind of stuff. Oh man, I was just trying to do something nice and now I'm dragged into this whole malarkey. But I think what he's saying in some ways, we could flip the script a little bit and saying the road to hell is paved with good intentions, meaning if you're inactive and you do not act on your intentions and make them come to fruition, wow. Light bulb for Lex. Bing. Just like Colin Murray Boyles is getting light bulbs from Darko all of a sudden, all the time. Thank you, Randolph Phillips, for letting me see a saying in a different way than I've ever thought. Maybe the road to hell is paved by intentions because they were things that should have happened and they didn't. Blessings to the Phillips family and all the Raptor Freak families. Wow. Ding. Shaq Lizzie saying the chemistry between BI and RJ is undeniable. Looking back, RJ IQ for OG is a steal for us. Some people are saying we lost that trade. Some people are saying that because they're so down on IQ. This is all right. Wait, Winders. Once again, why is there so much vocalness about RJ and IQ on our team? Why does it matter to people so much who won the trade between New York and Toronto? Could it be New York? Could it be New York fans? Could it be New York media? Could it be that the New York fans and the New York media want to control the narrative? And that in their minds, they don't want to have the narrative be that the Raptors got one over on the Knicks again, like Bargnani, like Lowry, like so many different cases of it. They really, really have to win the OG trade. And there's no way they win the OG trade if Emmanuel and RJ both hit. So wait, RJ's hitting, but Emmanuel's suspicious. Oh yeah, let's divert all the dumping on Emmanuel right now. Because RJ, we can't say this because the truth is the truth. The truth is the truth. We can't say anything about RJ right now. The truth is the truth. But how the hell can we make it seem like the Raptors lost the trade for OG? Let's sewer Emmanuel. Let's sewer the hell out of him. Y'all get in the Raptor spaces. Act like you're Raptors fans and talk shit about RJ and Emmanuel so that the Knicks can be perceived of winning the OG trade. Brian Windhurst. I think this checks. I think this checks right here. That's right. I think this checks. That's right. Let's see. Stargate saying, oh, Brandon is definitely John Lennon. Yeah. All you need is love. Yeah. He's, in some ways you're right. In some ways it may be like the look, I don't know. Maybe. Kareem Thomas saying, Lex on the sauce on Monday morning. That's right. I'm on that sauce. I still got some more. I was going to save some more, but if you want me to drink some more, I'll drink some more. I'm on that barbecue, right? Oh, mesquite. It's so good. It's so good. I might just pour this in a glass and just drink it like a beverage because it's actually going down pretty good like this. Man, wow, that is good. I can't do a more ringing endorsement. They didn't send me no money. This is purely me saying this is good shit. Buy it. Canadian Neil Brothers barbecue sauce. You get that smoky bold taste. Oh my gosh. That's what they're doing. They're bold, getting to the basket and putting the ball in the hoop. Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett. They're very bold. That's right. That barbecue. That's right. I'm on that sauce. The tone for the rest of the week might need a couple of wings to soak up the sauce, put it in your stomach. Maybe. Yeah, I do have some wings in the fridge. Maybe I'll cook them up later and put some of this sauce on it. More sauce on it, Brandon, please. Yeah, a little bit more sauce on that little turnaround. Woo-wee! That's right. That barbecue tasting good. That's right. Fiercely saying the Suns defeated the Spurs yesterday. Yes, the Spurs are no longer undefeated. And I have a theory about why that happened. I'm going to talk about it in just a sec. If I was the coaching staff, I'd watch film and see what was done differently to limit Wemby. As for Ja, I read he's unhappy with the latest Grizzly decisions. Yeah. Enough Ja talk. We'll forget about that. We'll talk about the Spurs real quick and Wemby. You want to know why they did that and how they did that? I have one word for you. Actually, it's two words. And, he's a Canadian content. Villain Dylan. Yeah, that's it right there, Fiercey. Dylan did not play in this game for the Suns against the Spurs. And how the hell did the Suns beat the Spurs? The Suns suck. Well, it's Villain Dylan. Because you know what? You know who has the code for Wemby and knows how to defeat Wemby? It's Dylan. Dylan Brooks. I know because I watched this last summer when the Team Canada played France. Dylan Brooks knows how to contain Victor Wembanyama. He knows the secret protocol to negate Victor. In some ways, it's a physicality thing. In some ways, it's a little bit of dirty, physical kind of pushing and holding and grabbing him and pulling him in. All you need to do is teach Grayson Allen and the rest of the Suns, this is what I do, guys. Listen, Victor's scary, sure, but I figured him out, guys. This is what you do. And he told them. And the Suns figured out how to play Wemby because Dylan Brooks knows how to stop Wemby. He did it in an international play a couple times. I've seen him do it. So that's the key to why that team in particular has the key for Wemby. It's totally Dylan Brooks. He's on the bench. He's not even playing. He just gave them the information. He said, guys, this is what I do. You just really got to annoy him. Get right up underneath him and hold him off. Get him off balance. Make him feel like you're annoying the hell out of him, and he will be bad. Watch. That's it. And then you get Victor getting 8 points and not getting anywhere near no 40 points. You make him ineffective. So I'm telling you right now, Dylan Brooks got the kryptonite for Victor Wembanyama as Superman. And the Suns executed on his information. That's the thing right there. You got to go talk to Dylan. He knows how to do it. That's right. Trading Brooks and firing Jenkins, apparently a whole new offensive system to learn, etc. Ja Morant is not going to be happy with nobody because in some ways he's just not happy in his life. Once again, I don't want to talk about him anymore. We beat that team. He didn't even come and play. And in some ways, Ja Morant's a knucklehead. Ja Morant will not be happy in any situation. He's had ideal situations with his team. He's been on the highs and he's been a knucklehead at those points. He'll be a knucklehead when they're on the lows too. In some ways, I'm not trying to make a world that fits for Ja. Ja's not trying to make a world that fits for himself in some ways because he's difficult. Let's just put it that way. He seems really fucking difficult at this point. And anybody who's advocating for him to come to the Raptors, he's difficult. We don't need his ass up here. Seriously, we got a very talented team that does not need him. Trust me. Shaq Lindsay saying, I don't think Bobby would be dumb enough to trade RJ if he wants to keep BI in the fold. I hope you're right, and I don't want to ever see RJ leave. I'll keep saying that over and over again. We're preemptively saying this to the team. And honestly, I just want this to be a very long period where RJ Barrett plays as a Raptor. I think that there's a lot of very good synergy and reasons for that. And we need to keep it going. We need to keep it going all kinds of ways. Randolph Phillips is saying this. Happy birthday blessings to everyone who has a birthday this month in November. May the next chapter of your life be filled with joy, peace, love, happiness, and prosperity. Live knowing that you have worth. I like that. So he's giving a nice special birthday blessing to November birthdays today. And in fact, we do have a birthday today. There is one birthday today for our day today on the Raptors, and it is old Psycho T. That's right. Tyler Hansbrough. Happy 40th birthday today out of Columbia, Missouri. The man, 6'9", and well, he finished up his career in professional basketball in 2022, playing over in, I think he was playing in China, and he's also played in a couple, where's the last place he was playing? I think he's just playing mostly in China up until his end of his career. But Tyler is now a voice on the Tar Heels broadcast for the ACC network, and hopefully he's doing very well. So happy birthday to former Raptor Tyler Hansbrough, who is 40 years old today. And the man played 100 and something games for the Raptors. How many games did he play for us? He played 138 games for us over 2 years. He averaged 4.2 points per game. And he started 12 games too. Psycho T was a fun little chapter in our history. I think he's on the 30 names of the 30 Raptors in the We the Raptors book for Eric Smith. So there may be a chapter on Tyler Hansbrough in that book. I think he is. I think he's one of them. I'm not totally sure. But either way, happy 40th to UNC's Tyler Hansbrough. Yeah, former Raptor. That's right. Stargate saying, exactly, Lex. I don't get why people are complaining about Jameson not playing last night. And now I'm seeing people causing an issue about Yak coming back. Come on, guys. Yeah, in some ways, this is, I don't know. In some ways, we get conditioned to worry about things that are absolutely unnecessary to worry about. These are actually not problems. These are absolutely benefits. A lot of this stuff. It's just really how you want to look at it. It's your perspective. If you have a glasses half to empty or a pessimistic attitude, you can look at everything in a bad way. But if you're able to see the silver lining and see the optimism, the glass is half full, that's the way to live right there. So in some ways, it's training your mind to see the benefits and the positive sides of all situations. And you'll live a better life if you do that. You really do go where you put your attention. And if you put your attention on bad things and they get clouding your mind, that's going to be your life. You put your life on good things and look at the silver lining, that's your life. It's your choice. Perception is a huge part of everybody's reality. And well, if you want to perceive things as being bad or negative, well, that's your choice. You'll be less happy than the other people. Let's just put it that way. And I'm not pointing anybody out on this channel or anything. When people have said that, this is just general life lessons and life things that I've learned the hard way myself. Because when I was younger, I was a very negative person. I was very toxic. And I learned my ways were very much shooting myself in the foot. And it took a long time of Lex becoming more better person over time to be to this point where I realize all this. And I'm much more positive person than I used to be. In fact, that's part of the reason why I fight so hard for positivity in the Raptors Nation, because I was like those casuals. I was a very negative person and thought the worst of everything. But I want to teach them how to come through it like I did. That's what I'm saying. It's not I'm trying to look down on people. I was like y'all. And in some ways, that's why it's sad to me. I want y'all to come around like me. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Randolph saying, Lex and Freaks, If what we are seeing is the team figuring things out and coming together, well, the best is yet to come. The games will be a joy to watch. Yeah, they're going to be a joy to watch either way. I really think that it's so dumb, and they're saying it now while they can. How can we pay so much for a 30-win team? Keep calling them a 30-win team right now, because that's not what they're going to be this year. And y'all won't be able to use this against us. They're a 30-win team. How can we pay so much for a 30-win team? Are we really a 30-win team right now? Are we really a 30-win team this year? No, we're not. We're going to be way above a 30-win team this year. So everybody using that in their argument right now, how can we pay so much for a 30-win team? You're not present with us and where we are right now, and not even present from last week. You could look at the 4-game losing streak last week and just decide the Raptors are going to be shit all year. Well, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. And Randolph's right. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. And I've seen the signs that we're going to get it. Last week, I got a little worried. It didn't seem like we might get them, but I'm seeing the signs now. We're going to get it. We're going to get it. Shaq Lindsay saying the Grizz are trying so hard to fix something that is broken. First, they traded their coach. Then they traded key pieces like Brooks and Bain. But the problem with facing them right in the face is Ja. Yeah. Yeah. In some ways, he has to – he gets in his own way. And everybody's right. Like they did in the pre-show, they talked about him. Sherman Hamilton, Matt Bonner, they gave their expert opinions. Matt Bonner, as a professional, said, this is the thing I see with Ja Morant. And this is what the problem is. And he was very nice and diplomatic, but he's very clear about it. It's like, you're wasting everybody's time when you're such a central player on the team that you're so dependent on. And it's funny because Alvin said in the broadcast, it's like Ja doesn't even need to be a leader. He doesn't even want to be a leader. That's a red flag, first of all. You want to be the franchise player. You want to be the guy who's in charge and the center of everything, but you don't want to step up and do leadership roles or be the guy that's depended on as the leader. That's a red flag right there. That is not the right person you want to be on your team and the center of everything. So I don't want to be a leader. I don't want to be a role model. I don't want to be any of that. I'm just me. I'm going to come to the games. I'm going to jump and I'm going to do what I want to do. And I'll do what I want to do outside the game too. I'm going to live my life. Well, you're not healthy for the team and you're not being a leader and you're taking away more than you're giving. And we did see the stats on how many games he's played and how many games he's missed. Availability is the best ability. Yeah, Ja Morant's a dead end. And the Grizzlies have found that in his tenure with you. He shouldn't have been that. He should have been a way better player. And that's the thing. He's got a stunted growth coming. The YouTube channel, Stunted Growth, is a fantastic basketball channel. Go check it out. It'll tell the cautionary tale of every single reason why different NBA players fail or teams fail. He goes over it very, very well. And that Ja Morant one, yeah, it's coming. We're going to see a stunted growth on Ja Morant. We're going to see a stunted growth on Zion Williamson. They're coming. They're coming. You'll see it. Ben Simmons. They get them. They get them right there. Yeah, IQ off the bench until Jakob comes back. I don't know about that. We need a proper point guard. And in some ways, what Darko's saying after the game is we need to encourage and support him and build his confidence up. Put him on the bench is not going to help his confidence. So that's not the right action. No, just keep riding with Quickly, and he'll get it figured out on his own, and it'll be fine. Darko's saying to RJ, you're not granted being in the starting lineup means it's the same for Emmanuel. If Emmanuel screws up so bad to a certain point where it's just obvious he should start Shed over Quickly to a point. Some people already see it and they think that, but it's too early. And in some ways, part of it is like if you do that switch of Shed for Quickly, you're really hurting his confidence, and it's going to make it even harder for him to be contributing to us on a level near his contract. And that's why you don't do this. In some ways, the hierarchy on a team with who gets to play where is about how much they get paid. And that's part of the reason why Grady's going to get the minutes before Jamison. That's part of the reason why Emmanuel's going to start instead of Jamal. So right now, Darko's main objective with Emmanuel is to build his confidence so he plays better. And that would not be the right direction right there. Shed fits better with the starters. It doesn't matter. They can switch it up as the game goes, and there can be lineups where Shed plays with primarily starters and Emmanuel shifts to go play for the bench. It doesn't actually really matter who starts the game. It's really how you do the rotations and the minutes distribution throughout the whole entire game. You can start the game and play 8 minutes at the beginning of the game and not play for the rest of the game, and the other guy plays way more than you after that. So starting in some ways is more ceremonial. Some of it is like it's more way overblown than it is. I always think that people that make a big deal about who's starting, it's kind of silly because the thing that really matters is minutes distribution and how long you're out there. And then some would even argue it's not about who starts the game, it's who's finishing the game and then the game at the end of the game. Fiercely saying this: Kia rookie ladder for October 25th. VJ Edgecombe at number 1, Cedric Coward at number 2, and Dylan Harper at number 3. CMB at number 9. But watch out for next month. He keeps it up. You know what? He's included. He's on there. He's not getting totally disregarded like Shed and Walter last year. So that's a good sign. In some ways, CMB being kind of head and shoulders above the other 2 rookies on our team this year will help him. Last year, we had a rookie class of 5 guys. And in some ways, the confusion of having J-Mo, Jameson, Jacoby, and Jamal, they kind of cancel each other out for awards in some ways because they're all kind of pretty good. And in some ways, the NBA people, their eyes just glaze over and say the Raptors have too many good rookies. Let's just exclude all of them. With Colin Murray Boyles as a singular man, he's going to get the attention. And 9th is a good spot because he's on the ranking, but he will go up. He will go up. And he will be a top 5 on that list very soon. Watch. That's right. He's going up. That's right. Shaq Lindsay saying Darko is trying so hard to get Dick going in the game. Maybe Dick needs to work on his release before the game instead of IQ. I'm talking about his shot. Okay, sure. That's what we were talking about the other day with release with IQ. Sure. Yeah. I mean, Carla. Hello. Carla's with him, right? I don't know. Either way, this is kind of cheap Dick jokes here. Kind of cheap. Stargate saying, nah, I want Giannis to play tomorrow. I want them to beat the Bucks at full strength, and nobody can make excuses. I never said I didn't want Giannis to play. That's not what I said, Stargate. I said Giannis missed a game last week, and the Warriors got beat by the Bucks without Giannis. No, I'm with you. I want him to play him. I never said that I didn't want Giannis to play tomorrow. If he doesn't play, that's more him chickening out, not wanting to play the Raptors, like he does every once in a while. There were a couple of years where he would miss Raptor games almost all the time. But he did play in the game last Friday. But he is on the injury list right now. He's day to day. So we'll have to see if he's updated today, and I'll have it in the latest lineup for tomorrow. And the speculation of whether we're going to see the Greek Freak or not. Thank you for the cutoff, Stargate. Thank you. I appreciate that. Monique is saying this. Wow, 2.5 hours. Back in the arena tomorrow. Sometimes you need time for family and myself. Looking like I'm off to my first in-season tournament versus the Pacers as well. I'll be at that game. I hope I'm at that game. I'm supposed to go at that game. But sometimes things get pulled out underneath the rug. I hope I'm going to that game. We'll see. We'll see. I just hope I am. I don't know if I am for sure. I'm pretty sure I am. But things can go in weird ways sometimes. But yeah, that's good. So I'll be at the Indiana game too. That's your first in-season tournament game? Wow. This will be my 3rd one. I think I've gone to one each year. Every year I go to one. I went to Boston with Tom and them the first year that they did it. And I think I went to one last year too. I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah. Most giving me the cutoff too. W Stream, W Vibes, go Raptors for life. Keep at it always, Lex. Raptor Free Crew strong forever. Just helping limit the comments. I appreciate you, Mo. And it is a better stream when you're here. It really is. Seymour saying, very impressed with Colin. I like that. Colin, Seymour, if you want to call in for Colin, you can call in and we can talk about Colin. Neil saying, as crucial as it is for the players to grow, it's just as important for the coach to grow. That goes for all teams. This is a great point by Neil. Darko's growing as a coach also. And in some ways, we got to allow for him to have growth and to strive and to become a better and better coach as it goes on. And he is. He's a very, very good coach. He's learning the NBA more and more. And you know what? I think he gets the respect from the refs and the league in general at this point. I don't think in the first year, there was some times where I felt like maybe he's not getting total respect because he's a rookie coach. But I think he's put in some time now, and he's a personable person. I think people respect him because they see he's working hard, and he knows what he's talking about. And I think that NBA officials respect Darko. They may even respect him more than they respect Nick Nurse. And it's partly because Nick Nurse is really yelling at them and really mean and maybe not as diplomatic in some ways. Because Nick Nurse seemed like he has acrimony with some of the refs. And the refs get like in facial places with like, you're an asshole. And Nick's just yelling at them and stuff like that. I think Darko has a better bedside manner with the refs. And he may have a better reputation with them than Nurse, actually. So that's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's see. Seymour, Jameson Battle is the specialist. Mamu said knock you out. BI is the specialist. Battle is the sharpshooter. No, Neil. No, that's not what Scotty said. This has been decreed by Scott that the specialist is Jameson Battle. Jamison Battle has the nickname of the specialist because Scotty called him that on Raptors Admit. So the specialist is Jamison Battle, and his specialty is three-point shooting. That is the specialist. BI is the go-to guy. He is the franchise go-to guy. He's the clutch player. But no, you can't go against Scott on this. Scotty has deemed Jamison Battle the specialist, and that's why we're calling him the specialist. That's Scotty's own anointment. You have to see the clip. When Jamison figured out the brain tweezer, Scotty yelled, "He is like that. He is like that. The specialist, Jamison Battle." So that's Scotty naming him. And no, Brandon's not the specialist. Jamison's the specialist. That's right. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's see. RJ had the putback of the year, just so far away. All right. So RJ had a couple of highlights last night that were really impressive, and they better be on the NBA top 10 today. Seriously, NBA top 10, you're coming out with your NBA top 10. I want at least one RJ highlight, if not two, because I think that he did two different things last night that warrant one of the top 10 highlights of the night. So we need to see RJ Barrett on there. You better not be trying to put him in the shadows and not show the rest of the NBA just how badass the Canadian player on the Canadian team is. So you better fucking put RJ on that top 10 today, NBA, for that putback dunk, or maybe another highlight too, because he had a couple highlights in the game last night. So you better do it, NBA. We're watching you. And that's where you'll show your bias if you don't include RJ Barrett in your top 10 from last night, because he had top 10 dunks. Seriously. Let's go look at the team stats from the game last night. The Raptors, very even stats for the game, most point. We got 2 more shots on goal than them, and we shot similar percent, although we shot way better than them. We shot 51%. They shot 44%. We were just really getting good, nice, clean shots. The shot selection and the patience and our players is very high right now. I really love the patience they're showing. They're not rushing things, and they're finding good quality shots, and their shot percentage this year is showing it. We're a way better offensive team with Ingram on our team, obviously. The three-pointers were even, 11 for each team. We shot 80% at the free throw line. Nothing to hate there. We out-rebounded them by +8, 49-41. That's fantastic. Our assist to turnover ratios, they were 24 and 13, pretty much 2-1. And we were 32 and 16, also 2-1. So, yeah, I don't like that we had more turnovers than that Grizzlies team last night. In some ways, there was some places where we probably could have cleaned up a little bit and not be so sloppy. Fast break points, we doubled them up 25-11. And the points in the paint, we beat them 58-54 too. Those little subtle things are the things that add up to the victory, which is a 13-point win for the Raptors. I love that. If I want to give a little bit of shine on the other side for the opposing team, I'll give some credit to Jaren Jackson Jr. being a man on his own, trying to hold the fort for them. Santi Aldama off the bench with 15. Not a bad game for him, although he shot poorly overall. And that rookie Cedric Coward is very interesting. He's very interesting. I think he's a little overhyped right now. I think he had one really good play game, and he's going to be pretty good, but I think he's a little bit overhyped right now. A little bit overhyped right now. Yeah, I would say that. Let's see. UC's here. Good to see UC. Good morning, Raptor Freaks. It may be a slow start, but if they don't fall below this record, then they can easily make the playoffs. Yeah, we should be, like I said, if we beat Milwaukee in the first game, we're a 4-3 team right now, right? We're a 4-3 team if we didn't lose the Milwaukee game, and we're a winning team. And in some ways, to make the playoffs in the NBA, you just got to be above 500. So we need to win more than we lose, and we're going to do that this year. And a lot of people are going to be shocked by it, and they're going to say all kinds of crazy shit. And hopefully we'll do so well that Darko Rajakovic is going to be in the Coach of the Year running. Seriously. That's what we want, Raptors fans. Anybody who's crying out, fire Darko, fire Darko. You're not good fans. You should be yelling out, Darko, let's go get Coach of the Year. If you really want to support this team correctly and be for it, you're not dumping on the coach and saying fire the coach 5 games in the season. That's not the right action. The people that are like that are not real fans. You need to allow the investment and time we put into this because you want to see success with our players and our coach. Because we're wasting our time. We're just spinning our wheels. Any fan that thinks, we should just fire people or trade people, that's failure. We don't want to do this shit. We want them to succeed. So everybody who's fired Darko right now, you're idiots. Fuck you. 2-finger salute from me. And I'm saying get Coach of the Year, Darko. That's what a real fan is saying in Raptors Nation. That's what a real fan is saying. They're not throwing their coach under the bus and saying he needs to be fired and all the dumbass bullshit I'm hearing. Seriously. It's crazy. Nako's here. Good to see Gerald. I hope your work was okay last night. How we loved what I saw from RJ and CMB. Probably the most secure game I saw this year. I can see Shed eclipsing IQ. Most secure game? I don't know about that. That's weird. I don't know much about barbecue, but I keep hearing Kansas has the best barbecue. Yeah, I don't know about Kansas barbecue. I know about Deep South barbecue. I know about North Florida, South Georgia barbecue. Yeah. And in some ways, it's different with that humidity. I don't know what barbecue's like in Kansas. I heard they got good barbecue in Tennessee also. And probably got good barbecue out in Texas. But man, I know about Florida and Georgia barbecue. And that's a little bit different because the Tallahassee is a swamp. It's not a palm trees and beaches, Florida. It's a swamp. And there's a certain level of humidity in that 100-degree heat in Tallahassee, Florida. That's what I'm saying there. Yeah. There's good stuff in the game last night. The Shed and IQ stuff, let's not get ahead of this. Let's let IQ play on our team. Shed is the future. I won't deny that. But let IQ have his time. That's what I say. Seymour saying, now that's Ontario, Lex. Alberta knows all about barbecue and smoked meat. I've never tried it. And I can't say, listen, I can't say they know it. You know, they can have barbecue here. They can have barbecue out there, but there's levels to this, Seymour. And unless you've gone down south and you see what Southern barbecue is like, you won't understand exactly what the difference is. You may think you have barbecue out west in the prairies, but you may not. You may find out very quickly, holy shit, this is a whole different thing than what Lex was saying. And temperature does have to do with it. Northern climates are not good for barbecue. I'm just going to say that right now. There's a reason why there's not a huge glut of barbecue restaurants in Toronto, because it's hard to cook barbecue correctly up here in the air and the climate here. And some of it has to do with trees and the way you get the wood that you use to smoke the meat or do with that. There's some of it has to do with humidity and climate and weather being warmer. I mean, I don't know. I can't say for sure what the barbecue's like in Alberta, but I'll tell you right now, it ain't on the same level. I'm sorry. It is not. And we could have a big barbecue war where we say, hey, who has got the best barbecue in which region? Maybe there's some sort of reality show where somebody needs to go do this. Where's that guy, Man versus Food? That Adam guy. He needs to go around. We're going to find out where the best barbecue is in North America. I'm going to different regions across the country to try barbecue in different regions to see who has the best barbecue. I want to see that Man versus Food. Go on around and let's go to Calgary. Let's go to Kansas. Let's go to Tennessee. Let's go to Texas. Let's go to Florida and let's see who's got the barbecue. That's right. Who's got it? We'll see. We'll see who's that. That's right. Brisket, baby. Okay, brisket. Mark my words. We go in the playoffs this year. I like that. 905 opening weekend, November the 7th and 9th. Yeah, the 905 are going to play it this Friday. Their first game, they are going to be playing the Sky Hawks of College Park, Atlanta's G League team, the same day we're going to play Atlanta in the in-season tournament. I do believe that the Skyhawks game is actually here in Toronto. So the G League team will be here in Mississauga while we'll be in Atlanta playing down there. So in some ways, they're going to have to route Chucky and Elijah and AJ to Mississauga for Friday night. And we won't have those guys probably for Friday night against Atlanta in-season tournament game number 2. So Friday's double bill, and the games will be on the same time in the evening around 7. It'll be tough. There'll be double duty watching. The first double duty watching 905 and Raptors playing at the same time Friday night this week. That's right. Monique saying this, happy birthday to the best mascot in the world. I can't say his name. 31 years ago, Raptors played their first ever game. Is it okay? Today's the first day that the Raptors played, but it's not actually Ryan's birthday. Did I say that? Oh, shit. Scotty got mad at me for saying that on his stream once when I divulged the name of the Raptor on his stream. He's like, don't be saying his name. He's like a superhero. It's like, you don't need to be telling Clark Kent for Superman real quick, Lex. What are you doing? Don't say his name. I only know his name because I dated a girl who worked at a mascot costume company. Seriously. There's a company here in Toronto called Looney Tunes, and they rent out and sell mascot costumes. And a girl I was dating worked at that place, and she had to interact with the Raptor all the time. He'd call up, and she'd be like, what do you need, Raptor? And he'd be like, I need a St. Patrick's Day outfit for my costume. So all the costumes the Raptor gets, some of them were bought from this company. And well, one day he was like, I'm going to give you some tickets to my ex-girlfriend. And we were supposed to go on tickets to the game on the Raptors tickets, which is pretty cool. It never happened though. And it never happened. We never got those tickets. He promised them to her, but it didn't happen. But yeah, that's my insight on the Raptor and how I know him. Well, I don't really know him. I just have a vicarious link because of an ex-girlfriend that was dealing with him as a mascot outfit seller. I know that's a weird story, isn't it? It's a little bit weird. Yeah. It's not his birthday though. I think it's just the birthday of the team. We started our season. The first ever game of the Raptors was played on this date in 1995. I think November 3rd. Yeah. It's weird. You think about it. How many games have we played in the season? See, NBA seasons used to start after Halloween, and they're starting earlier. In some ways, that's how they try to space out the whole 82 to make it not as much as a grind, is they start the season earlier than they used to. The season used to start right on Halloween. Now we start like 2 weeks before Halloween. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Nako saying OG for IQ and RJ is a good value for both sides. It's a good trade for both sides. I don't say it was a bad trade for either side. But if people really want to be competitive, New York, you go ahead. Think you won that trade. You got Malachi and Precious in that trade. And we're still getting the payoff from the players we got. They're both on our team still, and they're both starters. So you go ahead. You get one starter. We got two starters. And in some ways, the potential of our guys is a little bit higher going above. OG was pretty much close to being a finished product when you guys got him. There's a lot of potential for Barrett to continue to keep getting better. He already has since he showed up. And Emmanuel definitely needs to get better. And he will too. Watch. Yeah. Let's go. All right, let's see. Seymour saying, it's funny. Nike gave Knucklehead a shoe deal, but not a great role model like Drew Holiday. We know that what the narrative is and what they're pushing. Yeah, it's dunking. And it's not necessarily, like he said, he doesn't want to be a role model or a leader. So why are you giving him a shoe deal, Nike? In some ways, he's the biggest fumble in NBA history because he is such a dynamic, energetic, crazy player they could market so much behind, and they wanted to so badly, but he's completely fumbled the ball. That's the other level of the disappointment in Ja Morant. Is not even just to his team, it's to the whole league. It's really to the whole league. The league wants a marketable star, and he's just not allowing that because he's a knucklehead. And they would go full throttle with pushing him like Michael Jordan. He doesn't even see this. That's the sad part of this. He gets in his own way from having extremely amazing success. That's why he's an idiot. That's why he's a knucklehead. And that's why I have no respect for him, because there's so much that he's missing out on because he's fucking up his life. He could have really seriously been the face of this league. And the NBA wanted that so bad. Nike wanted that. Well, they were fools to think that. That's right. Neil saying, I'm older than Scotty. Too bad. No, Scotty's king. Scotty's our franchise player. And Jameson is a specialist. It's just decreed. And you don't even have control over this. The fans know this because they've seen him. And like Scotty said on Twitch, what he says, he's got to watch out what he says because people will catch what he says and they will run with it. And it'll be going like we're calling Jurassic Park Area 12 now. Did you know that? You got to get the memos, Neil. There's always new sayings that we're doing. And partly we get them from the players. What is Notorious BI3? We're starting to call Colin Murray Boyle's Combo. That seems like that might be his nickname, Combo, which I don't think is horrible. And Scotty did interviews. And he called Jameson the specialist, and he's calling Jurassic Park Area 15 or 13 or something like that. Listen, if you don't decide this, the fans hear Scotty say something, they mimic him, and they push it, and they go forward. And that's why I'm doing this. So Jameson Battle is the specialist. And that you don't get a choice in this. You can go ahead and think in your own head, but you're the only one. You're the only one. This is just it. Chris comes saying this. Maybe it's just me, but after Jameson's 7-for-7 game, that's automatically 15 minutes minimum in the next game. I'll still take the win, so it's all good. I mean, I get that logic. And I mean, that is just you, and it's not just you. It's other people too, like Kareem Thomas. And I thought that too. I was like, well, this probably means Jameson's going to get rotation. But no, nothing's promised. Nothing's exactly right. Darko's going to go on feel. And in some ways, you know what? In some ways, think about it this way. What if he went heavy on Jameson last night and played him 20 minutes and he didn't play Jacoby and Grady at all? What do you think's going on in their heads? Are we increasing them to feel confident to go forward and play better for us? No. We need to water those plants too. Jameson's a very healthy plant in the garden. He's robust and colorful. Grady and Jacoby need a little help with fertilizer and watering. And in some ways, that's why. Because if you water one plant too much, the others suffer, right? So we got to be equal in distributing in some ways like this. And in some ways, Jameson didn't need the time or anything. He's proven something. He's good. In fact, he could have got out there and played 15, 20 minutes and shot horribly. And then this good feeling we're feeling about it. So leave his confidence, especially if you don't need to break it in case of emergency, because it's not necessary for the game. You're more likely to screw him up. And then he's like, man, his confidence is good because he didn't shoot as well. Right now, he's riding on high. Let him ride. Let it ride until he gets back out there again from substantial minutes and he looks really bad. He should be feeling really confident and good. Now we need to get Jacoby and Grady's confidence up. That's why you do that right there. That's why you do it. Monique is saying this, Lex, in reference to in-season tournament, remember, we went as a Raptor Freak crew. This is the second in-season tournament. So you did go to one. You said earlier that you hadn't gone to in-season tournament yet. We did go to a game, a lot of us together. It was like the Saborans, Tom, he came from BC, and even Greg from Gubstown Clink was sitting with us. And there was like 6 or 7 of us that went to the first ever in-season tournament game for the Raptors against the Boston Celtics. It was the famous day where Isaac Campbell was at the game too. It was the famous day where Isaac Campbell witnessed my own personal Curb Your Enthusiasm episode at the NBA restaurant with the Celtics server that we got and me cussing him out and having to leave the restaurant and Tom getting mad at me. And then we lost the Celtics later. And that was partly because Ed Malloy, referee, manipulated the win for the Celtics in that game. It was very close and we should have won that game. Scotty brought this game up actually recently. They were asking the Raptors what in-season tournament court they like the best. And Scotty said he liked the black one the best, the black and gold one. A lot of the Raptors from last year said they liked the purple one last year, like the rookies from last year. But yeah, Scotty mentioned that Boston game that they just barely lost. And that was a referee manipulated game that Ed Malloy directed to the Celtics by NBA wanting that. Yeah, it was fucked up. I hated that. I hated that game so much in some ways. I hated that day. I hated that incident at the NBA restaurant. And I hated kind of like the outcome of the game. It pissed me off. And Tom Duke had a losing record. Every single game he came to see in Toronto, they lost. They lost the Indiana game he came to see that one year. And then he came for 2 games, and they lost the Milwaukee and the Boston games that he came the next time. It is what it is. It is what it is in some ways. That's right. Let's see. Seymour's saying this. You're right, because the barbecue I eat here is prepared Louisiana style. That's interesting. That's interesting. I wonder how they can mimic it. Because I've often said there's 2 business plans that could be very successful in 2 different places. And one of them is a very good barbecue that absolutely gets the true barbecue here in Toronto. If you could have a barbecue restaurant that is on the level of the barbecue in the South, somehow can do that, it's very tough. There's barbecue restaurants that I've eaten at downtown, but it just pales in comparison. It's not the same. It's not the same. And the other thing, if you could get that up here, you'd make a lot of money if you could get it right. Down south, if you had a poutine stand in a college town like Tallahassee that's open real late at night, and you brought poutine to them down there, you might be able to make money down there because that's very foreign and weird and new to them. And some people may think it's really cool, poutine. Like, that's what I'm saying. Those are like winning ideas for restaurants in my idea. You get a poutine restaurant down south where I grew up because nobody knows about that shit down there. And it would be so foreign and new that some people would be getting really into it. And then if you could do barbecue right up here in Ontario, that's a winning thing right there. That's a winning thing right there. Shreveport, to be exact. Shreveport. Well, Louisiana in general is good at food, whether it's Creole, barbecue, or whatever it is. There is good food in Louisiana. That's right. Neil's saying Scotty is not king. That's King Charles. Well, Kingdom of the North. I'm just saying, in some ways, Scotty, like I said, he makes the vernacular for our team. In some ways, be great for your boy Scotty. Yes, Sirski. This is all Scotty. Scottier Diamonds. This is all stuff he came up with. And we mimicked and we echoed. And that's how this shit gets made. We don't decide the nicknames. Matt Devlin can try and make them. Jack Armstrong and Alvin maybe a little bit. But we don't decide the nicknames. They decide them. They make them. Notorious BI3, Combo, whatever. We're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out. Kareem saying this, Colin Murray Boyles is well polished when doing pressers. I looked back, Scotty's rookie season, man, he needed training. I'm glad he caught up now. Yeah, that's a sore subject for Scott. And we were working with him at that time. Seriously, he hated doing media at the beginning. Like, he dreaded it. He'd come on the Twitter stream and he's like, man, I just hate doing the media, man. I just wish I didn't have to do it. He doesn't like doing it. In some ways, he sees it as an opportunity for him to look stupid, and he doesn't want to look stupid. That's why he had a policy, I don't do podcasts. People would ask him, I want you to be a guest on my podcast. He's like, I'm not going to do it. He made that very clear on his Twitter that he doesn't want to be on guesting on people's podcasts or trying to be talking too much. He had media training. In fact, I helped train him a little bit myself. Seriously, during that summer, you can ask the Raptor Freaks when we were on Twitter with him. He talked a lot about this aspect of what he was dealing with, and I was teaching him how to publicly speak better. I told him this is the one thing I taught Scott, and he does this to this day. He's doing it still, and I'm so proud of him for doing it. Is you don't have to answer right away, Scott. And one of the biggest things that he cared about with his press was he always stammers. He's like, he hated that. He wanted to come out eloquently and direct without any stammer or and I told him, Scott, look, this is what you do. You just pause. Don't make the verbal do it in your head if you have to, and let the wheels turn, get the question and answer when you're ready. You have the power, you have the brevity, you have the gravity of the situation in the second, because they're waiting to hear from you, and you can take your time to process and answer on your own time and speed. And that was one of the lessons he had to learn. Because in the beginning, he was like, and he'd fill in verbally when he's trying to spin the wheels on how to answer the question. The really good strategy he's doing now is, can you repeat the question? If he's not totally ready to answer the question right then, he'll ask the reporter, do you mind repeating that? Or can you ask me that again? And then he has more time. It's a really cool trick, and it's smart because it gives him more time to process and answer more eloquently. This stuff matters to Scott. And this has been a real journey for him. In some ways, it's like he's had people come at him with all kinds of ugly allegations and bullshit. And it matters to him that he's a smart guy. He is a very smart guy. He's a little quirky and he's a little different, but he's an extremely smart person. And he does not want to come off as dumb because of a media question or something like that. So he's very suspicious of people asking him questions and doing media. In some ways, Colin comes about it more naturally. Maybe, and that, that's true. Jamal Shed, very natural for it right away. Colin, though, and he had an adjustment from the last game to the one last night, because he did do press last night, and he was much better than the last time. After the Rockets game, he glazed the Rockets too much, and he acted like he knew everything already. And I'm like, dude, you don't know jack shit, bro. You got to actually be very humble and just say, I'm learning. It's a process. I'm doing better. Because he was talking like he knew everything already. In some ways, that's nice to have that confidence. But it's false confidence because you don't know everything yet and you're still learning and you're still a rookie. But yeah, I like how polished he is. But yeah, let's also give credit to Scott on his journey with the media and how he's polished himself more and more over the years. Seriously. And I taught him some stuff because I have media training on this stuff from school. And in some ways, I saw the opportunity to be helpful to him in his chat on Twitch. And he listened to me. He listened to me because I saw him actually start doing what I said afterwards. So let's see. Yes, his birthday is today, the mascot. So it is his birthday, the guy's birthday? Are you positive? Seriously? Are they just saying that because the egg hatched on this day? I'm not totally sure about this. But you're saying it is his actual birthday? Or are they just posting stuff saying, happy birthday, Raptor? This is the day you started. Because I can see where that can be confusing. I don't know if it's actually the individual from Manitoba's birthday. I don't think it is actually his birthday. I think today is the birthday of the Raptors team starting today. But maybe I'm wrong. I'll have to find out. And if I'm wrong, I'll correct myself and I'll say Monique was right. Neil's saying this. The specialist does more than sharpshooting. It's not about the title or anything like that. And I'm not going to argue with this on you, Neil. This isn't an argument where you're going to win. You can't give me the argument to win this. Scotty just said he's a specialist. That's just the rules. Okay? That's just the rules. The only reason why I'm using the term specialist is because Scotty brought it up. It's not about the role on the team and what you think is a role and who has this role and stuff. That's not what this is. He's a three-point specialist. We can say that. That's true. Brandon has a more complete game than a battle. So that's a misnomer. What you're saying in this, you're saying Brandon's the specialist? No, he's not. No, he's not. He's an all-around player in some ways more than Jamison. Jamison's more of a specialist than him. You can't argue this to try and make this for your side. It's just you're not going to win this. Scotty says it. I believe what he's saying. And this is just a dumb nickname anyway. You can't justify this. This is just like words. It doesn't really matter. In some ways, it's more real because Scotty said he's bona fide. He has an audience, and people are echoing what he's saying. Neil, you say it. You're saying it. Nobody else is saying it. You understand the difference here? Let's see. The specialist does more than sharpshooting. Battle is not demonstrated more than... No, the specialist does a very specialized role. That's what the specialist means. You're specialized in one thing. That's what that means. If you don't know what that means, I don't know how to tell you. The specialist means you're specialized in one thing. That's literally the root of the word, the specialist. Battle is not demonstrated more than shooting. That is why, no, he's demonstrated sound defense. He blocked the shot to help us in that game on Friday. And he's also a good rebounder. So that's not totally true either right there. Let's see. And that's why Darko asked him to work on going to the paint off the break. Battle's still growing. He asked Battle to build his body, and he did, and play better on defense and rebound, and he has. That's what he did. Yeah. Seymour saying Battle can be a three-point Tayshaun Prince. Oh, my God. He doesn't have the proper frame to be a Tayshaun Prince. Tayshaun Prince was a gazelle up and down the court. That man was so quick and so lithe. Jamison's nowhere near as fast as Tayshaun Prince. And that's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. He can't increase his speed to be Tayshaun Prince. I'm sorry. Tayshaun Prince on our team, who's the most like Tayshaun Prince on our team? Maybe Grady. Grady could probably be more like Tayshaun Prince than Jamison. In some ways, you have to be light and quick and very up and down the court. I just don't see Battle being like Tayshaun Prince. Neil's saying absolutely Battle can be Torian Prince. Who are more? No, not Torian Prince. He said Tayshaun Prince. That's a totally different person. Totally different person. If you know Tayshaun Prince is, he was on the team with the criminal Chauncey Billups, and they won a championship with the Detroit Pistons and Ben Wallace and Rip Hamilton. Tayshaun Prince, not Torian Prince. Torian Prince is a big forward who's still playing the league. I believe he's on Milwaukee. We got to get our facts straight. He said Tayshaun. That's why we do full name answers. Seriously. All right, let's see. Trevor's saying, who received the chain last night? I have no idea. I don't think they even divulged this. Did they divulge who got the chain or the scepter last night? Can we say who we think should have got it? I mean, who do you think? RJ got the chain already. In some ways, he doesn't need it. Do we give it to Scott for last night, or do we give it to Brandon? Maybe we give it to Brandon, partly because he had a big block at the end of the game, and he made clutch shots. Maybe you give it to Brandon. I don't know. I don't know if you just give it to RJ again. I say the biggest candidates, maybe you give it to Colin. Just because Colin's like that and he's doing so well as a rookie. I can only speculate who got the chain. They did not divulge who got it. And maybe that's good. Keep it internal. Maybe that's good. We'll find out at some point maybe. The scepter maybe should have gone to Scott. So maybe they give the chain to Colin and the scepter, the Cobra, to Scotty. Yeah, that's what I would have done last night. Neil's saying this. All right, I don't want to keep harping on this battle shit. Please, we want to be quick on this channel. In some ways, some people are bogging down on one subject. I want to hit stuff fast and not be 3 hours every day. That's the thing. Y'all can bring up a subject. We'll talk about it. We'll go back and forth. Maybe you have one comment. I say something, and then you have a comment back. And that's it. I don't want to have these run-on conversations about one subject, whether it's John Morant, whether Jamison Battle is a specialist or not. Okay? Let's not beat a dead horse and make Lex have 3-hour streams. We have to think about time. And you know what? They gave us cutoff already. So there shouldn't be that many comments left right now. There shouldn't really. And Neil's the one who's pretty much all the comments, it looks like. He's not respecting the cutoff of Monique, is what I'm saying. Let's see. Just because Scotty makes sayings in the past, it doesn't mean he is law. Yeah, it does. You cannot believe this. That's your right. But Scotty said it, and other fans listen to him, and they say it. And that's why it's more real than what you're saying. I'm not going to argue with you on this, Neil. It doesn't matter what you think. In this situation, you're wrong, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Scotty said it. People are going to listen to Scotty, and they're going to echo it because he has the platform. He has the influence, and you don't. So if he calls Jamison the specialist, that's what the nickname for Jamison is. You don't get to choose this. I'm sorry. This is not democratic. And it's not even up to you. It's just the reality. People are going to do this. I'm doing it, and I'm sure there's other people on Reddit and other places doing it too. So, yeah. And once again, why are you doing this? I'm going to skip everything you're saying here. I'm gonna skip everything. You're pissing me off, Neil. Seriously. Why are you making me go? I'm at 2 hours. I'm at 3 hours now. Seriously, I don't want to do this. Yeah, I'm not even gonna read it because you're just gonna make me mad, man. Yeah. All right. Last change showing was battle from previous game. Yeah, you're not even supposed to be in comments, bro. We got a cutoff. I need to finish the show. Seriously, I don't want you to drag out my show. All right, let's do the Instagram stories real quick. RJ Barrett has highlights from the game last night. Cool stuff. Some of the dunks he did and stuff like that. Yuta wrote something in Japanese. I don't know what it says. I don't know Japanese. There's Coach Wade with a friend of his Giants of Africa family. So there's somebody from Giants of Africa at the game last night with Coach Wade, who is Giants of Africa also. And that game time, we see Garrett Temple with the conga line, with the rookies behind him and dancing, and they're getting really into the steps. And I love the energy and the build-up. And we see all them, Elijah and Shed and Chucky dancing behind him. And then we see James Wade's son, who's a hockey player, who's running around out there training yesterday in the beautiful sunny day in Toronto, getting his training in, getting his running, his laps. Elijah Martin with the highlight of him shooting a shot. Hopefully, Elijah, you'll get in the big time and you'll become a bona fide NBA player, and you will be making your dream come true finally. That'd be awesome. I want to see that. Colin Murray Boyles did a little jersey exchange with one of his friends last night. I believe that was a South Carolina player that he was trading the jersey with, that he's friends with there. I love that pass that BI had for him. He put that up on his highlights there. BI with a nice little flip over pass to a dunk for Colin in transition. Really, really nice play there. Let's see. Eric Smith's book is on blast. In fact, I wrote Eric Smith last night after he posted a bunch of pictures of We the Raptors book and him putting out there. I said, Eric, I bought your book at the Upper Canada Mall yesterday, and I can't wait to read it. I thank you for writing a book about the Raptors. And Eric wrote me back within 10 minutes to say, thanks, Alexi. Thank you for supporting me and buying my book. So, yeah, Eric Smith, I'll put it on blast even today. Guys, buy We the Raptors, a great book, a stocking stuffer for your Christmas holidays. Get that book and support Eric Smith and his fantastic work on the Raptors. That's right. There's Jamison Battle. He's posting something from football. I think it's the Vikings, and they're in their huddle, and they're getting all crazy. Of course, Jamison's in NFL mode with the Vikings. That's right. Our specialist. That's right. Teresa Resch is commemorating the Toronto Blue Jays 2025 team, a season to remember. You see all the joy. You see the camaraderie. You see the brothership, the brotherhood, and the nice moments with Vladi and stuff. It's just a beautiful story the Blue Jays wrote this year, even if it wasn't totally successful. Hold your heads up high. We're proud of you guys, and we know you have great things to come in the future. Seriously. There's a Raptor on his Instagram story. See, they did this weird dance last night with the inflatable thing. They wanted the crowd to do this, and the Raptor brought out one for him. They were like doing this in the middle of the game. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Chris Boucher's got Vince McMahon on here. Listen, this is interesting. Chris is in Boston, right? He's in Red Sox territory. What was Chris posting with Vince McMahon? It's that moment where they show Vince McMahon choking up on I guess it was like one of the documentary shows. They were interviewing Vince, and he's like, oh, he starts crying. He's like, oh, and it's kind of a psychopath being sad. But it says here, Grandpa, what was it like watching Game 7 of the 2025 World Series? And he shows Vince crying. So Chris was very much emotionally tied to the Blue Jays run in this World Series, even as a Celtic. So yeah, that's right. He's a Canadian. He's a Toronto guy. He's a Montreal guy, and he's going to support that team. That's right. That's awesome. Also, Chris has this cool picture of this guy who's celebrating it. He says the exact pose I will hit when my bro finds his soulmate. See, he wants other people to find love around him. That's actually how you'll find love. You wish love for other people around you, and then all of a sudden, boom, you might find love yourself. Then who knows? Maybe that's the right attitude, and that'll get Chris who he wants in his life. Siakam is back with the Sunday Bangers, and this time he switched it up a little bit. Normally, the Sunday Bangers with Siakam is an Afrobeat song. But yesterday, he picked a French kind of like techno song. And he's like, oh, do you remember this banger, guys? And it was like a French song in French. Yeah, it was interesting that he had a different genre in his Sunday Bangers. But I'm glad to see they're back. I was worried that they were going to go away. But I guess the Pacers won their first game, and Siakam's dancing again, and he's happy. So he's doing his Sunday Bangers. Check out that segment every week. It's the best. It's the best. All right, let's see. Raptors at Min has way too much on there. There's too much to cover there. And, yeah, we don't need to do Lindsey Dunn. Baseball season's over. All right, so, yeah, there it is. There's your Instagram stories right there real quick. Raptors Reddit. There is one post I wanted to talk about on Raptors Reddit. And where is it? Where was the one? RJ deserves so much love. There's one right there. There's another person saying after tonight, RJ Barrett is averaging 24 and 3 with 1.3 steals per game on 65% true shooting thus far this season. Yeah, a lot of pro RJ stuff on Reddit. All of a sudden, after a summer of sewering him, thank God. Thank God. And it should be like that. They're trying to find out Colin Murray Boyle's nicknames. Let's see. Somebody wants to call him Cold Boiled. Cold Boiled or Cold Man Boils. Boilerplate. Man, back to the drawing board. It'll come naturally. Maybe Scotty will give him his nickname. Seriously. Let's see. I did the birthday already. I guess we'll do the classic card real quick. Yeah, Neil, no disrespect, man. It's just I don't want to go so long. And we got to move through subjects quickly. You can have your opinion. I can have mine. We move on. And you're not going to argue your point to me, just so you know. Tyler learned that yesterday. All right, let's see. This is a really old card. So this may be a little bit tougher. Who is that? I can't even see the name. I better know who it is before I put it up. I have to actually put the glasses on, man. I'm aging in front of y'all. Okay, yeah, that's the name. All right. I couldn't read it. All right, guys, here we go. Full name answer. Please, it's a classic card. This is an old Maverick. It's an old jersey. This is not a recent player. This is going to be a lot of points if anybody can get it because he's not a very well-known player. And it's old as hell. This may be tough, man. Seriously. Lexathon. That's right, Race Mode. We're on a Lexathon. We are definitely on a Lexathon. I'd see if Race Mode shows up. That's probably because he's like, wow, Lex is still on. I better come in and tell him he's on a Lexathon. It's funny there's Race Mode Daily that's saying that right there. Yeah. Salute the Glorilla, the Sixth Sense. There you go. Anybody? Any guesses? Trevor's saying Magic Johnson had nice things to say about the Blue Jays. Yeah, I appreciate Magic. I wrote Magic a message myself. I thanked him and I said, congratulations to Magic Johnson, the Dodgers, on winning the World Series. I appreciate you being a good winner and respecting the Blue Jays. And we appreciate y'all for a great series. And a lot of Dodgers fans wrote me back saying, you guys were awesome too. There was a lot of respect shown in that space. And I appreciate that. So yeah, Magic is a class act. He's been a winner his whole life. And he's a winner again with the Dodgers as of now. And in some ways, their fans and their nation should follow his leadership on how to conduct yourself, on how to be a better winner, honestly. And the pictures of the crazy people in the streets after the game on Saturday night in LA getting tear gassed because they're too crazy out there, y'all don't need to do that. Seriously, LA's had issues in the history with the riots and stuff like that. Y'all don't need to be getting out there in a positive way, celebrating and causing dismay and destruction. So yeah, and celebrate better. Seriously, LA. Johnny Newman. No, it's not Johnny Newman. Johnny Newman's too easy. That would be too. Johnny Newman's a known player. This guy is different. All right, I'm going to start giving you guys clues on the name. His first name is one of the main judges on American Idol. His first name is the name of one of the main judges on American Idol, and his last name is the same last name as one of the most important fictional characters in any dramatic TV series ever in the history of television. So if you know the answer, you can get the first and last name. So his first name is a judge on American Idol. That's one of the most important judges from that time. Simon Newman. That's an interesting answer. It's not Simon Newman. And his last name is probably, I would say this, Gerald Naco the Nacho's favorite TV show. We talked about it on this show because Adrienne and I watched this show last year for the first time. She had never seen it. So if you know the last name of the main character of that show and you know the first name of the American Idol judge, you'll get the right combination. Adrian Dantley is not right, Seymour. I like that you said that, though, because he's right for that jersey in that time with the Dallas Mavericks, but it's not right. Fiercely saying, I'm thinking Victor Newman because you watch Young and the Restless. Victor Newman. Nicholas. Come in here, Nicholas. Please. Nicholas, I'm not very happy with you and how you are running Jabot. No, Nicholas. No. Listen to me. I'm your father. I could do Eric Braden. I love the Young and the Restless. I know Victor Newman. I know that they recycle the same storylines every 10, 20 years. And Victor's going to end up crashing a plane in Mexico and a blind woman will find him and nurse him back to health. There's always the same answer. Slug DZ got it. Slug DZ caught up and he figured it out. Randy White. Randy Jackson, Walter White. That's right. Good. Look at this. All right. Slug DZ. I'm going to give you the 420 special, just like I gave Seymour yesterday. Because that's hard, man. Randy White. Very generic name. He figured it out. Look at Slug DZ, man. Look at Slug DZ. You can get the 420 special. 2 days in a row of 420 going to the classic card. Because that's just a hard card, man. That's a hard card. Randy White is the right one. Yeah, Randy White. You like my Young and the Restless? Like, but Dad, you're ruining this company. I don't care, Nicholas. I made this company. I'll destroy this company if I want to. You know, that's basically Victor right there, right? Nikki, please take me back. No, Victor. I'm sick of how you treat our children. But Nikki, I love you. I'm Victor. You know, this is bullshit. That bullshit like that. Yeah. Jason Sasser. Man, make sure you're live. Let's just say that. Make sure you're live. All right, let me finish up, y'all. Thanks, Raptors, for winning 2 games in a row, winning the Naismith Cup, beating the Grizzlies yesterday. Thank you, Zach Edey, for coming and taking a bunch of your teammates to the World Series and paying a bunch of tickets to Rogers. They're bringing in like 20 members of the Grizzlies to watch the World Series. That's fun. And Zach Edey, you're sitting on the bench. You're watching the Raptors. You're sitting in the arena. You see RJ, your Team Canada teammate, so happy playing for the Raptors. I know what you're thinking over there. Yeah. You've seen John Morant wasting everybody's time in Memphis. And I know you dream of wearing that red jersey over on the other side. Your time will come, Zach. Just like RJ. You know, RJ said this after the game last night. He said, if I was here before, I would not succeed. And this is damn truth. He had to go to New York and get those early growing pains out of the way and go through stuff. He said in the interview last night, the young me would not be able to do what I'm doing right now on the Raptors, to have the maturity and the aptitude to hold my game in the way I am with efficiency and fit in the middle of guys like Brandon and Scotty and Emmanuel and all this. So young RJ was not ready, and we needed to wait for him to marinate and grow in the New York Knicks jersey, develop him in their farm system, and bring him back to Toronto and get the best of RJ now when he's older and wiser. Zach Edey, you know what? Your path could be very similar with RJ Barrett if you want it to be. And I know when you come home and you see a game like last night, you know, maybe you really are imagining yourself playing for the other team. I think he was the couple times I've seen him on the bench. That's right. Yeah. Victor Newman and Jack. Yeah, Jack Abbott. I was always a Jack guy. Victor, what are you doing to my family? Fuck the Abbott family. Newman. Victor, I'm not going to let you get away with this. You know, shit like that. Yeah, Jack was like trying to do the right thing, but he would always fuck up. And he did have the right heart, but he would always fuck up. Jack Abbott. Yeah, that was my dude, man. I was always on Jack's side. I was like, Victor's the bastard, man. Victor's such a villain. And I'm on Team Jack. And Billy's an idiot. I've always thought Billy Abbott was an idiot. I was like, fuck Billy. Billy's an idiot. Jack's trying to keep this family together, but he gets all the shit dumped on him. Oh, shit. Everybody's like, oh, crap. He knows about the Young and the Restless. Look at him talking about the Young and the Restless on a deep level. Yeah, I do know about the Young and the Restless. I do. Yeah. All right. Let me see. My stars of the game last night were RJ Barrett, Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes, Colin Murray Boyles, and Jamal Shedd. Honorable mention to Grady Dick for coming and showing up and playing solid and getting the second shift in the second half. All right. Tomorrow we're playing Giannis again in the Milwaukee Bucks. I'll have the latest lineup news, the ref report, and everything to set up everybody for the game. Once again, I hope that my ref report was helpful for yesterday's game, and you saw exactly what I was saying. So undefeated ref report is a very good, insightful way to gauge what's going on with the referees and the possibilities for the game. So I hope that you find value in my previews and you return tomorrow to hear what I have to say tomorrow. I appreciate everybody. Once again, Jack over Victor, you're with me, MJ. Your Team Abbott in that one. I think it's only Jack I like. Most of the Abbotts I don't like. It's like a weird thing where I don't like Victor. Well, I do kind of like Victor though. But I like most of the Newmans. But I like Jack, but I don't like most of the Abbotts. I don't know. It's a weird thing. Either way, thanks for talking soap operas with me. And I appreciate everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And remember, the barbecue tastes good. So give it time to cook. And this year, we're going to be winning more than we're losing. And everybody thinks we're a losing team right now that's overpaid. Y'all going to find out real quick and how it's going to age and stuff like that. So, yeah, let me go ahead and have another swig on my way out here because I'm drinking the barbecue sauce because it tastes good. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Let's go, Raptors. Yeah. I'm telling y'all, man. Neal Brothers. Go get it.